She's riveted still.
There she is. There she is.
Welcome to Jill's.
Can I offer you some tea?
Good tea. Nice house.
Would you make me some of that Plomeek soup? Greetings and felicitations.
Happy New Year!
As I've finally become the person I've always wanted to be.
Hello and welcome to Plomeek Teatime number 99. Yes, we're getting closer to 100 of these episodes, so next week we'll make it there. So that's cool. Also, I wanted to have a fun Friday, and so of course, what's more fun than Star Trek? And I've got plenty to choose from. So we ended up choosing Star Trek: The Next Generation Season 4 episode, The Nth Degree, which is all about Barclay becoming the person he wants to be. And I can definitely relate to that. Barclay is one of the most relatable characters in Star Trek: The Next Generation, with the consequence being that he's the greatest. I sometimes find myself frustrated by my own limitations, but for just some time, Barclay gets to know what it's like for those barriers to just fall away and to understand everything. Before we talk about how that happens, I'd just like to say hello, and with us today is Gavin Blackburn. He says, "This is my nth favorite episode." I know that you meant to say first favorite episode, but I love this. This is clever. My nth favorite episode. Because it's N is a variable, so you can put any number into the N. And Franco Walker wants to say, please subscribe, hit the bell, share, hit like, select live chat. Yeah, if you enjoy Star Trek, science fiction, or fantasy discussions, please subscribe. And welcome to the panel to Scotty R37. I had my single viewer mode there, so now we can have more people.
Yay!
Hello, welcome.
Hey, thank you. How are you?
I'm great. I just started my introduction and I got through it. Well, I had a short introduction, so it was perfect. Perfect timing. It's almost like you were meant to arrive at this moment.
Excellent. Like a Cytherian.
Yeah, and also like Cytherians here on YouTube, we were just floating heads, floating avatars. Hello? Oh, who are also too lazy to come to you directly. We come to you through the etherwebs. Hello and welcome to Matt G.
Hey, Matt G.
How are you doing? And Franco Walker says, I hope you all had a good Christmas and a happy New Year. Oh, same to you.
Thank you.
And also, Mega Crop Rover shows up for Star Trek. Look at him. Hey, happy New Year, Franco, Jill, and chat. Hey, Gorilla's not yelling at me this time. He says, Kapla. I must have done something right. And
Not yet.
Me neither. Oh, I'm just all on caffeine. I'm on a different kind of substance, kind that wakes you up. And the Nth Degree first aired on April 1st, 1991. What a day for a Barclay episode to be released. And to have another return to the center of the galaxy with the godlike beam. It was written by Joe Manowski and directed by Rob Legato. Oh, too busy plus a fantastic day.
Good news.
Oh, you're too busy to yell at me. But that's okay. But you're also having a good day. That is good news. I agree. Hey, a happy gorilla is safer for everyone. And so, about I know I'm just jumping right into it, but why not, right? I mean, the sooner we get through this, we can we can get started talking about the episode. Why not?
Why not?
Brandon Braga had a quote here. He says, "We struggled for a year with how to have Barclay come back. We didn't want him to play the nervous chap in the holodeck again." And Joe Manowski came up with the science fiction notion of a probe, which is essentially a ship in a bottle. It was a good twist on that particular character, which you could only get to with science fiction gag. And the thing is, even ship in the bottle episodes often I don't even think about the fact that, hey, we're just on the ship the whole time. It doesn't even cross my mind because I'm having such a good time, especially with an episode like this. And then there's another note here. Joe Manowski wrote, this is from Star Trek 365, which is a book I bought when Raquel and Claudia were reviewing all of real Star Trek. Joe Manowski wrote the Nth Degree as an homage to the classic science fiction story and later novel Flowers for Algernon, Daniel Keyes' award-winning tale of a mentally challenged man who undergoes experimental brain surgery to increase his intelligence. The surgery works, but only temporarily. Barclay's transformation is also temporary, the result of alien intervention. Writing for Barclay was a bit like writing for Data. You just knew you couldn't lose, relates Manowski. And, I thought I had and, but I guess that I cut that off. Maybe I have that somewhere else in my notes, and we'll run across it. But I just love this episode.
Is it just me, or is this like a better version of Spock's brain?
Well, okay, yes, because even though it is an alien influence that removes Barclay's brain, Barclay does it himself. Like I feel like there's still part of him that's still working himself in addition to the alien, so it feels a little less out of control. I mean, he is out of control.
Well, just in terms of the disembodied voice of Barclay being connected to the computer, running everything, but he doesn't have to go anywhere. No one steals Barclay's brain, but Barclay is basically doing all the things that Spock's brain does on the Spock's brain planet.
Yeah, and he's not compensating for a lower life form that's using his brain in order to. Although in this case, the Syntharians might see the humans as the lower life form, but that need help. Like, oh, come here, children. We must treat you like babies.
Well, and even Barclay does say it's like children may be scared of the world, but that doesn't mean their parents should leave them in their cribs. And Troy is like,
I know.
Is that how you see us? It's like,
like children, yeah. So okay, so let's just dig right in there, right into the end of the episode. But that's okay.
Yeah, spoilers.
Brain and brain. What is brain?
Beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Any chance I have to bring up little Spock's brain.
Spock's brain. Yes.
Brain and brain. What is brain?
Of course. No, that's great to bring that up. And I just love every part of this episode. So let's bring up the slides.
Yes, let's. And it is. You're absolutely right. That chair they made for it is badass. It was really cool.
Agreed. And this episode has the longest teaser in the original Star Trek timeline, as we have now officially relegated STD to be in its own Kirschman universe. I've always believed this, but the fact that this is a real thing now is extra exciting. So they can have their weird 14-minute whatever how long teaser. That doesn't even matter anymore. This has the longest teaser.
I didn't think we were talking about STD.
We're not, but I just couldn't help it because it was part of the trivia and.
Filthy.
Yeah, well, it's Filthy Friday. Sig Valdison said, "Good afternoon. Praise to our eldritch god. May the button be pushed soon." No, don't push the button. We might get good Star Trek. I don't want to push the button now.
Maybe the thumbs up button, the like button.
Yeah, the like button. Maybe that's more of a reasonable thing to do. I just love how this episode starts because you remember him from Hollow Pursuits when he would have all these fantasy holodeck stories about his fantasies of Beverly, Indiana. So this opening teaser might trick someone into believing he's inserted himself into another such holodeck program, even just for a couple of seconds. But it's quickly revealed that they're putting on a play, which is a much more healthy expression of escapism, and done with the actual Beverly. So this is a wonderful callback to characterization. And RVM 371 says, "Hi Jill, coffee is life." Yes, it is. I need some coffee videos, particularly of the Janeway variety. I have a feeling I'm going to be having Voyager on my mind this year since it is my calendar. I have a 1997 Voyager calendar, and I have that. I have such an old calendar because the days match up with 2025. Because, of course, for some reason, Paramount doesn't make, except for the original series, Paramount doesn't make real Star Trek calendars. So I have to go to the past. Gavin Blackburn says, "We can talk about SD when it's being decanonized." Well, what it is that it's its own canon. It's its own person Trek canon. They can have their own. Yeah, they have their own universe over there, and everything connected with it. Strange New Worlds, Star Trek Picard, and Lower Decks itself. They're just all in the Star Trek universe. You don't have to worry about it anymore. A.T. Kirk says, "Hey Jill, Happy New Year and Happy Friday. I just got my Trek Kitty calendar." Oh, can't stay in chat, but busy with work, but enjoy TNG. I am. Oh, you know what, A.T. Kirk. First of all, I have to play one clip for you that's very important before you go. And also, I was trying to think of what calendar to buy for my kitchen because I wanted to buy something for my daughter who's 5 years old, and so I was thinking, should I just buy a kitty calendar? And if it's a kitty Star Trek calendar, that combines both of our interests so perfectly. I'm going to get one too, if you don't mind me copying you. Hello to Franco Walker. Oh wait, I already said hello to you, but you're saying Happy New Year. I'm just excited. I love this episode so much. Classic Comics says hello, everyone.
Hello.
Yeah. Okay. So they're performing a production right here on this in this episode. Oh, thank you for starting that. That's exactly what I needed. A production of Cyrano de Bergerac.
Cyrano de Bergerac.
De Bergerac. And of course, Reginald Barclay is playing the lead role, and Beverly is playing as Roxanne. And so this is how we start the episode with the play. That is revealed to not be a holodeck fantasy, unfortunately.
Jill, can you just do me a favor and just drop the audio on your on the ambient Enterprise? Just a little. Just drop it down a little.
Oh, okay. It's not me. It's the music. Okay.
Yeah, that's cool.
How about
Great.
that?
Perfect. Thank you.
Maybe that's a little. Let's see.
It's a little low.
It's a little low.
There we go.
How about that? Do you like that?
Love it.
Oh, we found the right. Okay.
There we go.
Yes, you are correct. Well, and officially too, it's on his license plate. So if you ever see, well, it might be JT Kirk. I don't know. I don't know how many people would have a Kerouac license plate. You're the only one I know about. I remember Flowers for Algernon, says Classic Comics. I had to read it in middle school. Well, I should read it. I don't remember. And Kermit the Frog says, did you see what I said on my news the other day? Yes, you are officially an uncle, if that's what you're talking about. Congratulations again on that. And
Yeah.
is it me, or are the background sounds high and drowning Jill out just a little? Oh no, did my entire introduction get drowned out?
No, but it was just sort of competing, but we fixed it.
Was I loud enough? Because I was also pretty loud.
That's it. Let's start over.
Do I need to repeat everything I said?
I don't think so.
Because-
I heard you, but it was just a little. It would draw. Anyway, we fixed it. We can't. What do you want? What do you want to do?
I don't know.
It's okay. We've already done it.
Yeah. Okay, I just played it back. It sounds fine, but you're right. It is a little loud. Okay, so it wasn't bad. It's hand-drawn kitties, not photos of kitties, but I think it's fun anyway by now. Oh, okay. I gotta see it. Is it commercially available? I didn't even consider that you might have people making things for you that are fantastic. I don't know. Well, in that case, you have a unique calendar that nobody else gets to have. Kermit the Frog says, yes, I got to see him after the new year. I didn't get to hold him, but I got my own pictures. Yeah, that's great. Well, when he's a little older, you'll probably be able to hold him. With a newborn, you got to be careful. And the Outcast Creative Lance is here. Love the episode. Me too. Okay, so I was scrolling around because I was afraid my intro was inaudible, but it was audible. I can see how the background noise is a little distracting, but it's not irreparable. And so there. Here's the production for Bergerac once again. And the other hint, besides the fact that we immediately cut to the audience to show that it's a play, that it's not the holodeck, is how nervous Barclay is. And he's remembering his lines, he knows his cues, but his only problem is that he's a little bit flustered, despite how awesome he is.
Well, but he's not. I think Data does say it's like he's not really good.
Data's really critical.
But considering where we left off with Reg before, like leaps and bounds, and even Troy does give him the credit where credit is due in terms of him being able to sort of overcome his shyness. And hey, they say that public speaking is one of the biggest fears or most common fears that people have, and I'm sure Barclay doesn't necessarily like the attention, but he's working through his situation.
And that's exactly my problem. I have trouble with public speaking, believe it or not, despite having a YouTube channel. And this does call back. If you listen to some of my early works, I don't sound nearly as sure of myself as I do today. And so this is a very relatable thing for me. And I do love that Data has to be told what's polite, because he's just being very clinical in his response of evaluating Barclay's performance, and that he has to integrate politeness into his programming, and his emotional Rolodex is wonderful. And well, okay, so I also love the reveal that it's only a play, with Worf considering Barclay's fumble with the script. Like, you could just see Michael Dorn can just act just with his looks. So he didn't even have to say a word, and I could feel the anxiety of that moment of Barclay. He tripped and he stumbled, but he kept going. He kind of forgot, but he got the cue from Beverly, and he didn't give up. I have tripped like that, even without a rapt audience, and you feel like being really small and shrieking, and nobody saw that, right? Because sometimes, when you trip on air, or is that me? It's me. The fact that he kept at it and doesn't give up is an achievement. And even Data, deducing that Barclay didn't put on a fantastic performance. I just love that Riker needs to teach him some social etiquette. Let's see, did I have any videos yet? I have videos for this one.
What?
I do.
Incroyable.
And-
because of Cyrano, he's French.
Well, there you go. And I like that Deanna appreciates his efforts too. It's a nice touch. And Barclay is concerned that he's only succeeding at this because, well, at the level that he is succeeding, because he's playing somebody else. But Troy explains to him that it is a completely different thing than withdrawing to yourself into a holodeck.
You're not just acting, you're interacting.
And I know we don't get to say this very often, but this is a great Troy episode, too.
It's not a bad Troy episode. There is a problem.
She does her job, Jill. Like, she actually has function.
Most of the time. There is one part where she kind of fumbles herself. And I'll tell you when we get to it.
Okay. Great.
But before we get to that particular thing, I would like for you to read our captain's log.
For sure.
Yeah. If anybody else wants to join, can we read captain's logs too?
Big shout out to Scogli and Max for being here. Thanks, guys.
Oh, hello, Scogli.
All right. It's been a while since I've done up a card captain's log.
Wait a second. Before you do that, I didn't notice the super chat. Hey, Jill. Oh, wait. Oh, I did notice that super chat. And I played a video for you. I'm sorry, guys. I'm a little too excited today. I'm gonna reread super chats today. But I just wanted to see if there was anything else in the chat then before you read that.
Sure.
That captain's log. And I'd say hello to Old Man Bird.
Hey,
Old Man Bird. It's hard. I've been calling you Eugene so much. And is it still okay to call you Eugene? Too much eggnog around Scotty's.
Not a nog
Actually,
fan.
Yeah, me neither. Gavin Blackburn says, Lance, my son bought me your book for Christmas, but the tight bastard got the softbound cover. Nice. That's awesome. You got the book. Nice. That's Merry Christmas. Why do they make sets? They have holodeck. That's funny.
Yeah, I was wondering what they were doing with the bar in 10 Forward. Like, did they beam it out?
What?
Hey, look who it is.
I don't quite understand that.
What?
Could you explain yourself and also say hello to Naladoc? Hello.
Greetings.
How are you?
I'm doing well. Yourselves?
Very well.
Fantastic. And could you explain yourself? Why don't they beam out the bar?
So go back
10
one
forward?
slide. If you go back one slide, that is like that's 10 Forward's doors, right? They're in 10 Forward right now. No, they're not in 10 Forward. I guess it's just another room. I don't know what room this is, and it frustrates me, but it is obviously a redress
Cetacean
of 10
ops.
Forward. Sorry?
Clearly cetacean ops.
Yeah, it must be. That's where the dolphins are.
There be whales here?
There be whales here. All right, let's get this captain's log over with.
Those doors were reused props, I think, in Star Trek 5 as well.
6.
Or possibly 6, yeah. So they're all, it's hard to tell sometimes.
Yeah, they're in the Federation president's office. That's where they are.
Exactly.
Captain's log, stardate 44704.2. We have arrived at the Argus. I don't know why I'm...
Arrived?
We have arrived at the Argus Array, a remote subspace telescope at the very edge of Federation space. I sound kind of like Skeletor. The unmanned structure mysteriously stopped relaying its data nearly 2 months ago. I don't know
That's
what happened,
right.
Picard.
I don't know. He's got a cold. The Argus Array telescope at the edge of the Federation stopped sending data back. And so no one mans this telescope. It's just out there doing science on its own. It's been pre-programmed. But this computer, it stopped working and the power's unstable to the point that it's gonna, possibly explode, which we eventually find out. They find a foreign object, and eventually we find this probe that's surrounding this station.
In all your reviews of old TNG, how many arrays did they visit?
Oh my!
There's a trivia question for you.
How many standalone satellites just hang around in space, collecting data and doing science?
That's actually seems to be a very heavy infrastructure there for Starfleet along the neutral zones, and they seem to have a lot of unmanned arrays.
Well, and it becomes more of an issue on Voyager as well, because they're always trying to piggyback and all right, we can send messages through this array.
Exactly. There's this whole infrastructure that I don't know if any of the role-playing game entities had tried to map all that out, but I don't recall seeing it in any official Okuda books on Star Trek. But I wonder if was it Memory Alpha would have any of that on there. Somebody should have.
That's a really good question, and I think a lot of those arrays are just offhandedly talked about. Most of them we don't get to see up close, which is why it's such a treat to see this one. It looks really nice. But before we
we're simping for arrays.
I like my rays when they get eaten by V'ger.
Okay,
but let's face it, that's the best array eating ever was V'ger.
That is. Yeah, for sure.
Agreed.
Okay,
yes.
back to you, Jill.
Well, yeah, you're actually right. When you asked that question, I was just thinking, can I think of something else besides the motion picture? But
see, I am bringing hard concepts to you to keep your brain functional and thinking about. Yeah, that's my job.
I do appreciate you. Old Man Bird sends us a 1999 super chat.
Damn.
Troy's big doe-like eyes. So much nicer than the actress that portrays her. True. Her appearance is deceiving. And let's see, what should I play for you? Right, I do have a Troy clip that is not part of this episode.
Chocolate is a serious thing.
And
random. How many files do you have in your random Troy clips directory?
I only have that one, actually. All the Troy clips.
Now we're gonna have to work. We're gonna have to work on improving that.
Yeah.
Don't you have a drunk Troy?
Oh, that's right. You're right. I have two.
See, Scotty knows.
Finally.
This is no time to argue about time. We don't have the time.
That was her best hair.
Yes.
I hated that season 1 bun. I hated that, but
how come it took them 2 months? Was it 2 months? Did it take them 2 months to investigate? Hold on, give me a second.
See, now you got me thinking, because there wasn't one that there was an array, but it was specifically for monitoring Cardassian space. Like right now, we're in the halcyon days of Federation supremacy in the quadrants. So they're basically just charting nebula. That's all they're doing. There's no war going on. I guess this is post Best of Both Worlds. So maybe they're looking for Borg.
Yes. Oh, that's possible too. I want to say hello to Brogu. Hello, everyone. Hello, Jill. Hope you're having a wonderful day
Brogan.
today. But if they are looking for Borg, why, just as Franco asks, why did it take them 2 months to realize this array had shut down?
Well, how many ships did they lose at 359? Maybe they just can't maintain the infrastructure.
That's an important point that they're
Hey,
trying to
there's a great
rebuild right
idea
now.
for a new idea for a Kurtzman series. Just a guy in a space shuttle with warp capability going from array to array to array.
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not? I'm in. Make it Barclay. Make it Star Trek Barclay.
Well, if it's all the Kurtzman universe, they can go do whatever they want. I'm waiting for a real Star Trek. Max Redstone says they could be hunting for wabbits. And Sig Valdison says, I just pretended season 1 never existed in TNG. Actually,
you gotta suffer through it at least every few years.
Yeah, I agree with Naladak. It's a rite of passage to watch season 1 of TNG, and half of it is crap, but half of it is mediocre. So it's not bad. It's
half
not.
is bad, half is not as bad.
It's kind of good. Half of
it is an ugly bag of mostly water.
Max Redstone says they could be hunting for rabbits. Oh, I read that right. with the arrays, trying to figure out what this array was actually studying before it became part of this plot.
I know how Jill loves Kurtzman. That's why I got to bring Bad Robot Trek up all the time.
Yeah, you do that. I get upset because
I have a list here that every week I need to do a slam on Kurtzman to you, just to have my checklist.
Well, good work. You succeed. I actually do like the idea.
I don't want to derail your episode here, but I am so looking for your review of the Section 31 movie.
Oh no. Okay, so it is a fact that I'm going to review this movie, but I'm not going to give it the metrics or the advertising metrics by calling it its actual name. So it's going to be, what was it? I got help from my friends what to name the stream, and it's going to be called This Ain't Trek 31 Flavors of Film.
Mm-hmm. Max Redstone had a point there.
Come to think of it, Patrick Stewart would make a decent Elmer Fudd.
When he's out with, oh my God, Magneto. Why am I drawing a blank?
Charles Xavier?
No, the actor.
Ian
Magneto
McKellen.
against him. Ian McKellen. Yeah, I'm sorry. I have seen them goof around so much that I could see Patrick Stewart like having a couple cocktails and do an Elmer Fudd.
Yeah, makes sense. Totes.
Yeah, why not? Well, Patrick Stewart. Yeah. So they find the probe. There's some really nice shots of the probe. It's a lot of fun. I like this thing.
Well, and I'm kind of giggling because it is not a phrase that I was expecting to hear today. Oh, what a lovely-looking probe. But
Scotty's waiting on the 1/6 Hot Toys version of it.
Yeah, exactly. I want this Itherian probe, and don't Google that. But, yeah, I do appreciate that these are all practical special effects in terms of the models. Like, no CGI yet. I think it's great. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, yes, that's what I know. That must be what I'm swooning over. But LaForge and Barclay both head out to go investigate this probe, and they try to do some passive scans, and that doesn't work. So then they do active scans, and they say, Barclay once says, I'm picking up visual wavelengths only between 4,500 and 7,000 angstroms. And angstroms are equal to 100 millionth of a centimeter. So it's atomic atomic level distances. Very, very small. And so they're doing their science, trying to figure this out. But then there's a flash of light, and Barclay is knocked out. I do have one video for this thing. If I can make it to my clips.
This is why I'm in Starfleet.
See?
Yes.
Exploration. Love it.
Exploration, and Barclay is expressing his gratitude for being brought along this mission, and Geordi's just basically saying, "I should have done this a long time ago. You're one of my top engineers." So it's just always good to see. And then we have another captain's log very soon. so I'm gonna have, if Naladoc will accept, I'll have him read the next one when we get to it in the slides. But first, we need to see Barclay. That's out. I had some trouble getting the captions for this episode. I had to do a bit of hunting. For some reason, the captions I originally had didn't match up and would skip the theme song. So that's just a little production information on how this live stream came to be. Oh, that's a blinding light from the probe, and I guess that's the transfer of information. I don't know what else could have transferred the information.
Oh, no, that's totally it. And that's why I really appreciate it later on when the interface becomes a bunch of flashing lights poking at his head.
Yes.
Is because all of the information is just transferred luminally? Luminally?
Yes, and that's how the aliens communicate with lights. So, Naladoc, could you please read Captain's Log Supplemental?
Captain's Log Supplemental.
It's in the private chat.
Captain's Log Supplemental. An intense energy surge from the alien probe has severely disabled the shuttle's onboard computer. The away team has been transported directly to sickbay, where Lieutenant Barclay remains under observation.
Nice.
Fade to black. Cut.
That was perfect. That was amazing. They can't figure out what is powering the probe, and so just as they decide to take it to the science station, they just like let's let somebody else figure this out.
K.E. Cuter was her name. Saxon Trainer. These names are great. I've never noticed them.
Saxon Trainer plays Lieutenant Larson. She's a smoke show.
I'm so glad you're noticing them because I always make sure to grab all the screen caps for all of the guest stars.
Because you are a kind person. You're quoting your sources. I love that. Giving these people credit. A lot of those people didn't get any credit.
Yeah.
And they in the background
greater credit than credit on screen. I mean,
Yeah. Well, and we do get what's her name, Tracy Cuoco, who plays one of the long-running ensigns. She takes over, like she's at the helm for a bunch. She's in Star Trek Generations. I think she even shows up in First Contact.
Yeah, Lower Decks show, didn't she show up in Lower Decks too?
No, she wasn't in Lower Decks, which was kind of a slap in the face because she's an unnamed ensign who like never gets any lines, but she's in the show basically from season 3 forward. She's like Mr. Leslie from the original series.
Nice.
Yes.
How many Greek letters Larson says, how many sections does Starfleet have? If section 31 is a counter-espionage, what is the official section for sanitation? The people demand to know. Yeah, that would be nice to be able to
Section
read the
2.
Entire
Number
the entire
2. It's poop code.
Oh, they just eat their poop. They just recycle it also.
Oh, that's right. Waste reclamation. Totally. I'm having the refuse searched.
Yeah, but has anyone ever written out the entire Starfleet charter? Because that's where our Stephen Bear invented
Section 31. What is it? What's the? It's a subsection. Anyway, we'll find out.
Yeah, I don't know. No, it's a good question. I don't know if it's been answered. It's the Starfleet charter, but I don't know if there's like ever been a culmination of that. So we've got 2 questions. How many arrays, and has anyone ever written an entire Starfleet charter?
Some nerd out there has.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but it might be somewhat fan fiction, but it would still be fun. Greek Letters Larson says the probe exploring a rear canals. That's why they're in Star. What do what do the clear balls do on the console? Oh, I didn't see that. Hold on.
Which
I
console?
think
Oh, this. What is this, Scotty?
let's see. Oh, that.
It's like a mouse, isn't it?
I think it's actual, like, I believe it's a 3-dimensional. You know when you when I don't know if you guys ever had the little globe, what do you call it, compass, that was on your dashboard or something on your.
Oh yeah, I
car.
remember.
So I think it's like that, but for 3-dimensional space. So it is like a trackball, but it is representative of the area around the shuttlecraft. And just in case anyone wants to fact check me on that, I'm making that up.
But that
So I don't have any facts to
that
back it
sounds
up,
plausible.
but I think that's what it is.
Good guess. It's a really, really good guess, and I like it. Greek Letters Larson says, "What if?" Okay, so this is a species that's communicating via this flashing light from the probe, but he says, "What if we stumble upon a species that communicates via exchange of bodily fluids?" And I'm sure that happens in Star Trek.
I've communicated with people using bodily fluids. Moving on.
I know in Enterprise they communicated via touching each other's rocks, and the engineer Trip gets pregnant.
Yes.
But, that's the quickest one I can think of at the moment.
And just so you know, I found a 4-year-old Reddit post about, can anyone tell me what those clear bubbles are on the TNG shuttlecraft LCARs?
Wow, really?
And of course they said 3D position readout,
Hey, see?
gyroscopic navigational tools. But there's no actual official explanation. They're all just people, throwing out some ideas. So you were good there, Scotty. You were close, I think. That's what I assumed they were, something 3-dimensional, like a mouse that you're interacting with in 3D.
Yeah. Well, it's so fun to be able to go back and watch these things on Blu-ray and stuff. So you do get to see those like little details on the consoles, but also because it is on HD, sometimes you get the awful situation of seeing screws at the corners of the helm and the
gaffer tape on the screen.
Oh, the gaffer tape. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Love it. But it does, now that I've seen these episodes probably 3 or 4 times a piece, it doesn't take me out of it, and so the slides, I get to see them in Red Letter Media did one that was all about the gaffer tape and putting black construction paper so it wouldn't reflect. So interesting to see that stuff, because when I first go around, I was completely immersed.
I'm still completely immersed. I mean, Red Letter Media can show me all the boom mics and coffee stains that they like, and I still get lost in Star Trek. And so Crusher's doing a medical examination. Of course, this episode written by Joe Manowski. She's doing, and she says it's going to take a while, but already, I think this is still Barclay here. I don't know. I mean, he was shot by the probe, but I think he slowly is taken over by the alien because his brilliance amplifies. I think this is still something that he might have thought of. You shouldn't have to wait too long of results. He's thinking of shouldn't you have a global mode on your scanner? Oh, do I have that? No, I don't.
It would be an interesting thing to clip. I don't see how often you could use it. Doesn't come up in conversation
and Crusher
very
says
often.
this is human cells, not isolinear chips circuits. I think you better stick to engineering.
And then Barclay does respond in the back.
I can set it up for you if you'd like.
The best part about that interaction is right as he's going, he leaves the door, and obviously Geordi's giving that Barclay look. But Barclay looks back at Beverly one more time and is like, yeah, huh? He is so unhinged here. It's great.
Yeah. Look at how much his eyeballs are popping out. It's worthy. It's worthy of Martok. A cell has an electromagnetic signature, just like a circuit element does. So that's why Barclay thinks he can fix it for Beverly.
Greek letters, you're absolutely correct. I know what those balls are. They're space balls. Yes, there goes the neighborhood.
Can't be wrong there. That's true enough. And so Worf is like, hey, this thing's gonna blow up. We should get the frack away from here. And actually Picard agrees. So you remember that YouTube video that shows all the times Worf is like, let's do this, and Picard says no. This is one of those moments where Picard's like, yes, I agree. Let's get out of here.
Now, I do love this episode, but I do find that there are a lot of shots that, like, things are going on around the ship, and then we cut to the bridge where things are just starting to kick off, and I'm like, I would love to see just the previous minute of them just sitting on the bridge, blankly staring at the television, waiting for something to happen. Everybody's just like, you know, we're just here. We're just at work. Nothing's going on.
It is. Yeah, there has to be mundane moments like that where, well, you don't get to see that on TV because then people are going to change the channel.
Yeah, exactly. But, like, they're literally just sitting there, and I'm sure that Data and the helmsman are both doing things, monitoring. Data's in charge of operations. Worf is probably making sure that, you know, space debris isn't going to penetrate the hull or anything. But it's just so funny to see Picard and Riker just sort of sitting there staring at the screen. And it's like, do you guys have small talk? Or are you just sitting there, I don't want to do this today. I should have called.
Well, they have to examine the probe, and
yes,
Data
so they stare at it intently.
It's formed an energy shield around itself, and that's when Worf says, "Let's get out of here." But they also decide to try to destroy it too because it's a danger to the array. And so they try to increase the power to the phasers because the phasers don't really work. But that doesn't work either. This is an important Barclay moment, as he knows what to do before LaForge says it. And I think this is the real moment where the effects of the probe are starting to take hold. And because we see a change in his demeanor, where we saw in the last scene where he was still really smart, he still had his personality of being a little bit unsure of himself, but still expressing what he had to say. But here, that has gone. He's confident, more confident now. And you're right. There's a bit of a lull at the beginning of this episode where it's like, it's this probe. It's here. We don't want it here. We're trying to destroy it. But things are going to blow up. So should we go away? We'll go away, at an impulse speed. And then that's not fast enough. So then they go to warp 2. and now the energy from the probe is high enough to be a danger. So, I don't know if anybody just forgot that the ship can go up to warp 9, but they never really try to I guess they don't want to abandon the probe. I mean the array. But that's something to consider if the ship's in danger. But all of that's interrupted because Barclay figures out how to transfer warp power to the shields, and now magically, through his vast intellect obtained from the probe, he's figured out how to increase the shield strength to 300%. And so that did it. Yeah. And LaForge says, I don't know how he did it. And so we don't know how he did it either. If LaForge doesn't know, how the hell is the audience going to know? It works. They destroyed the probe safely and successfully. So Picard says thanks. Yeah, with the photon torpedo. And Riker's like, oh no, it's too close. But Barclay says the shields will hold. And they do. And some of Barclay is still there because he apologizes to LaForge. He says, let's see, do I have it?
To the emitters, yes, sir. I'm already on it.
Shield strength has been increased by 300%.
I'm sorry if I overstepped my authority.
And LaForge says, don't mention it. And so I'm going to read the next captain's log. The Enterprise has destroyed the alien probe, but now we are left with the difficult task of repairing the Argus telescope. Failure to do so would represent an incalculable scientific loss. And I don't know why it's such a big they tell us it's a really big deal, but we don't know specifically exactly why it's a really big deal. But now they need to fix the telescope, or else they're going to lose a ton of scientific research. So I guess that's big enough stakes to be worried. And then this episode, I love it to death. It's an A episode for me, but they really do amplify the technobabble in this episode to a great degree. When Riker says, "Mr. Barclay, everyone's trying to figure out exactly how you did it." "Well," says Barclay, "it just occurred to me that I could set up a frequency harmonic between the deflector and the shield grid using the warp field generator as a power flow anti-attenuator, and that, of course, naturally created an amplification of the inherent energy output." And I love Riker's response. He's like, I see that. He in fact does not see that, but
that was a perfect Ron Howard narrator from Arrested Development. He did not, in fact, see.
And now they have to fix the array. But before we work on fixing the array, I want to make sure to say, see what the chat's up to. Gavin Blackburn says, "So this makes you a clever probe. You live a whole life, or an Earth destruction probe. This is Prometheus, Barclay." Yeah. Greek Lars Larson says, "If you shoot it and it doesn't even make a scratch, and then you shoot it again with bigger guns, and again, there's no difference. Running is a very good idea." Well, yeah, the phasers weren't strong enough, and although the photon torpedo was probably strong enough, they decided they shouldn't do it because the explosion would destroy them too. It would get through their shields. So it was too dangerous. But Barclay figured out how to increase the shield strength so they could handle the blowback. Eugene Bird says, "They should let us play music on the bridge." Oh. Yes.
You know, I really wish they'd let us play music up here. Make these long trips go by a lot faster.
It's against regulations.
Yeah, I never understood that.
They just don't want us having a dance party when a proximity alert goes off.
See, that's a dumb reason. Because we'd already be on our feet, ready for action.
So that's what you're talking about, Scotty. Just people on the bridge making small talk, which is what happens in the Orville. So that is a good point, Old Man Bird.
Yes.
And I want to say hello to DJ Playnice.
Hey.
Hey, good to see you. Riker said, "I didn't understand one word of that." Yes. Yes, so now we can move on to fixing the array. And so how do we do that? We have a meeting. It's Star Trek, the Next Generation. Oh, but before that, we have to have this amazing acting sequence. So we can compare it to the beginning of the episode. Now, after being integrated with the probe, after the probe imparts its knowledge and control over Barclay, he's suddenly a much more confident actor. Because he already had the skill, but now that's just basically the difference.
Now he's got the commitment. He's fearless in his performance.
Right. And Troy is complimenting him on that performance. What?
Well, and again, this is it's so fun when Troy actually gets to be a counselor. And so you do see that sort of understanding of the psychology of the man, even though he is becoming increasingly, I don't know, arrogant? Does he become arrogant? I think he does.
He goes far past arrogance. He starts at arrogance, and then by the end he manifests into full narcissism.
Yes.
But I think that is more of the aliens.
Yes. Well, and is it narcissism? Is it arrogance if he is in fact superior? Like Beverly does say to him, you could possibly be the most advanced human to ever live. Which also, you know, I know it doesn't happen until like season 6 or 7, but it's like, wasn't he also like the most deadly virulent carrier in all of human history as well when he turned into that spider?
Well, everybody seemed to be that though in that in Genesis. I think we reviewed that on Halloween. Oh yeah.
Was I there?
So. Yes, you were there.
Okay, I had a good time.
I think so.
Great.
But no, and of course, let's see. I guess my notes are missing for this particular scene, or I didn't write any. But the nail is should be in bloom. I did get a video for that one.
Blooming Zilinias?
Yes.
Zalnias?
Days. I've found confidence. I never knew it was there. It should be in bloom.
Oh, I didn't get the Zilinias in that clip.
I ain't going on no plane, Hannibal. Sorry, wrong show.
Why did I get your private chat so late? I didn't even see it.
Well, I'm back, so everything's cool. We worked it out.
Gavin Blackman says, and the bridge chair looks so comfy, but they have heat and vibrate functions too. Oh yeah, my car has heat functions. My car seat gets warm. Troy's turned on. Do you think so?
I think she does say later. It's like, oh, he made a pass at me, and it was a good one.
It was, yeah, she does say it was a good one, but she also controls herself. She says, this is inappropriate. You were my patient, so you can't do that. Brogu says, Barclay really should make a move on the counselor. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. Well, he did. And I want to say hello to Sentai Ranger Donnie. Good morning, Anti-Derivative Jill, Scotty, Naladoc, and all. Hope everyone is well on this first Friday of the year of Power Rangers SPD.
It's snowing here.
Oh, is it snowing there?
Well, it's currently stopped, but we got it all last. We got about 1 to 2 inches last night. So yeah.
Nice. Now do you understand why they have holodecks? Yes. There we go. Yes, you're right. Greek letters, Larson. That is that is what holodecks are used for. But luckily, the ship is self-cleaning. So, my notes are really out of order.
Slacker. You up your game. You got to up your game in 2025 there, girl.
Yeah, what are you being, a Barclay?
Apparently. Yeah, no, what happened? Why didn't you have a meeting?
We will. Don't worry. This episode has a lot of conferences. But I like this in terms of the reaction from Geordi, just in terms of Lieutenant Barclay is on holodeck 3. And the look on his face is like, oh, we're doing that again? I thought, it's like when you know somebody who's either quit smoking or quit drinking, and then you find out that they're at a bar or they're like, where is he? He's having a cigarette. And it's like, he said he quit. It's like, this is that, oh, he's sliding back into his old addictions which is not what's happening. But I like the response from Geordi because that's what it looks like. He's like, oh no, this again. I wonder who he's recreated.
Yes, that's true. Geordi thinks Barclay's up to his old habits. But let's go back to that. Maybe I skipped the meeting scene.
Oh yeah, because they are having the engineers are here and they're supposed to be doing their repair schedule because he was the one who was going to lead the repair schedule strategy.
Yes.
And it's funny because, again, a nice little moment here. I forget who said it in the chat, and it was like, imagine being on a deep space mission and all you have for a sexy partner is Counselor Troy, which isn't true because Lieutenant Larson is right there. And as I mentioned, kind of cute. Like, I dig an engineer lady. That's why I had such a crush on Barclay, or not Barclay.
I was watching this episode, and I had a feeling you were going to know more about her than I do.
Well, no, I know
a screenshot of her. I want to see her hair.
Yeah, it's a good call.
Is it scraggly?
No, it's not scraggly. She's well put together.
Okay.
No, I don't think we have Lieutenant Larson.
Deep Scotty cut there. I think I recall who she is.
I'll see if I can find a picture. I'll send it in the press.
You don't need to be wasting the time. Get moving.
Well,
okay, yeah.
Well,
the chat. You're hanging the chat.
We have. Here's the meeting. I missed the meeting here. Each telescope sub-antenna clusters is powered by its own fusion reactor, and so that's where it is. I just had one screen cap of the meeting, and that's why I missed it. And so, but Barclay says, okay, so LaForge says it's going to take 2 or 3 weeks, and Barclay says, no, we can do this in just 2 days. And so what I wanted to say, this scene actually reminds me of the natural brilliance of my husband, who can take programming tasks that normally take people weeks to construct and have them ready to test in 2 or 3 days. This is as far as it goes, though. After Barclay goes from human level brilliance. So this is the point where after this, he goes from human level brilliance to impossible levels of intellect. And so that is something I just wanted to say. And you know, he's pretty smart. And a lot of people who say a task is impossible, he can do it. And Barclay says, no, it's true. I can't explain it. In the last few days, I found confidence I never knew was there. And so that is the Troy scene. Then he throws a line like, yeah, that is it. This is an alias. We got through that. And yeah, so he's supposed to be on duty, but he's in holodeck 3, except this time he's going to be hanging out with Einstein. And that is where we are with my notes. I just finally resynced. And Sentai Ranger Brogu is talking to Sentai Ranger Donnie. It's great to see everybody greeting each other. Good morning to Canadian Spider-Man. It's so really wonderful to see you. I'm sorry I missed your show last night. I hope you had a good time talking about your travels. And let's see.
Oh, and I wanted to. I nearly forgot, and I am remiss, but I did want to shout out friend of the channel, Terry Tiberius Mork. Thank you so much for existing. It is his birthday. Yeah.
Happy birthday, Terry, if you're listening. I hope you are. But you're probably doing something better on your birthday.
He loves talking about Star Trek.
I think they eat like raw mackerel and something in Norway and on their birthdays. I think it's a tradition.
They do. There's a fish
raw
like
mackerel.
PBR and mackerel.
Sounds like my kind of birthday.
I know. That's why I said it.
Jill, on your Facebook, I sent you a picture of Lieutenant Larkin. There we go.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, when I saw her, I knew you would know more about her than I do. I didn't remember her name. I knew I didn't
Very,
have to.
very
because you would know
disturbing.
it.
It is disturbing. Photographic
Very
memories added
disturbing.
with, yeah.
The blinders
Apparently
you
she
have
was-
and the filters you look the world through are amazing.
Thank you, sir. I thought, you know who I thought she was when I first saw her? I thought she was the counter girl in Falling Down when Michael Douglas goes in to order breakfast. I thought that was her, and it's not her. So, anyway, my apologies to both actresses who I find very pretty.
If I see her at a con, I'll get her a signature for you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Ooh, got a brief insight into Jill's chats.
See, that's funny with the chalkboard. I like how that there is a literal aha moment in the equation.
Yeah, no, it's wonderful because this is something that Einstein worked on his entire life. He tried to have these thought experiments about how to unify the grand unification theory of the forces with gravity, and it was just that one hitch. He couldn't hitch gravity to it, and that's all he wanted. And here's Barclay trying to solve this with him, and it's kind of phenomenal. It's just, I love this scene. Jim Norton.
You love math.
Albert Einstein here, and he also comes back in Descent as Albert Einstein. Oh wait, is that the poker one? I didn't.
Yes, Descent Part 1 with Isaac Newton and Stephen Hawking.
And this is just this is just wonderful. This is what holodecks need to be used for. Like, what person would you have a discussion with if you could pick anybody and have a accurate representation of their being?
Lieutenant Larkin?
There you go.
Yeah.
There's an example. And I want to say hello to James Caserta.
Or what about Terry Hatcher when she was the transporter chief in the Outrageous Okana? I guess I could just go and hang out and talk to these people. I didn't have to recreate them in the holodeck.
It's true. But I'd recreate. I'd talk to Carl Sagan. I think Carl Sagan. He would have lots of good things to say, and in the trying times that we sometimes find ourselves in currently. I wish you were here.
Yeah, that's the funny thing when I start thinking about who I would recreate in the holodeck. It's like everyone that I would recreate in the holodeck exists in the Star Trek universe. So there's no need to recreate them. In fact, there will be an intervention from my ship's counselor.
Well, and in this case, there's an intervention by Geordi because Barclay is late for a meeting.
See, I told you there'd be more meetings.
Yeah, there's lots of meetings. Because Barclay has to tell everybody how to save the array within just a short amount of time versus the several weeks that it would have normally taken. And well, and so Barclay almost solves grand unification, but he stopped short because there's a meeting.
Reasons.
No. The reason, because the array's about to explode. It's already been established that there's an imminent danger. There's the threat of destruction of lots of scientific research. Well, what's more important in scientific research than the grand unification theory? We don't know. And I guess it's a good thing they don't say what's more important than that.
Well, how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop?
The world will never know.
The world will never know.
I think it's around 200 something.
It's 3. The owl told me.
I believe some MIT grad students actually created a contraption with like a licking tongue and actually came up with an answer to that. But
No way! That's rad.
I seem to remember something about that in a journal article or something.
Mr. Turtle, how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
I never made it without biting. Ask Mr. Owl, for he is the wisest of us all.
Mr. Owl, how many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop?
A good question. Let's find out. 1, 2, 3.
If there's anything I can't stand, it's a smart owl.
How many licks does it take to get to the Tootsie Roll center of a Tootsie Pop? The world may never know.
No, the doc. What was the conclusion of that scientific study?
According to mental flaws.
I just read way too many like journals and things, and I remember that was done as a tongue-in-cheek little project. I think I'll get back to you on that.
Oh, okay. Okay. I wanted to make sure I didn't cut you off while you were trying to tell a story.
Different studies have produced various results from 1,000 to 411. Depending on the method and the factors involved.
Without adjusting the cosmological constant of...
I'm glad that we did defer to the Tootsie Pop question when we were having a conversation with Albert Einstein. It does fully identify where my brain is. I am a child.
You just spent the entire night arguing grand unification theories with Albert Einstein.
Yes. Yes, I've finally become the person I've always wanted to be. Do we have to ask why?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. But I really feel that last line. I always try to understand as much as I possibly can. I know I have limitations that I can't surpass, and that's frustrating to not have everything possible to achieve everything I want to do. To have these goals, and just that part of me says, no, you can't get all of that done. You've got all these other things to do.
Hey, James Caserta is here.
Yeah. Hello, James Caserta. And then we have, well, like you said earlier, we have Crusher massively inflating Barclay's ego. The production of neurotransmitters in your brain have jumped by over 500%. Pre- and postsynaptic membranes have increased permeability to match it. And he guesses his IQ is between 1,200 and 1,450. But she also says that both sides of the brain have become one instead of the left and the right. And he's increased in all aspects: creativity, resourcefulness, inspiration, imagination. And of course, all the information that he got from the probe. Let's see.
Beverly does have a... Sorry.
Oh, Richard Feynman would be good to talk to. Wait, isn't there a ship in this episode? No.
A ship?
Just an array.
Just an array.
No, okay.
We got a probe, an array, and the Enterprise, and the disembodied floating head.
Yeah, Richard Feynman would be amazing. I'm sorry, I cut you off there, Scotty. What's going on?
Well, I was just commenting on the men that circle Beverly throughout the show. We've got the one Trill, and then we've got Berlinghoff Rasmussen from the 22nd century New Jersey. We got the ghost in the candle, and then we get Barclay, which I always thought that they had some sort of chemistry. She is moved to tears by his performance.
She's moved to tears. Yeah, she is. She is. She's absolutely astounded by it. And James Caserta says, I think I've seen this premise on ABC TV Movie of the Week with some premise and dialogue. The most advanced human ever, written before this, and that this ripped it off. Well, wait a second. You're gonna accuse TNG of plagiarism, which they've done before with Red Dwarf, but you got to tell us what it is so we know, so we can cross-reference it.
But also, the premise of the show is based on, as the writers sort of outlined, is based on Flowers for Algernon.
Yes.
So it is an homage.
Yes. So it definitely goes back to that piece of literature. But if there's more, I'm intrigued. And James Caserta says, unless that was also written by Joe Manowski or was a Mandela effect. You could just be from another time. Let's see. Oh. Yes. Oh, your final DeviantArt upload of 2024. Check that out for Donnie. I'm sure he posted that somewhere in the chat. Oh, right here.
There it is.
Speaking of Star Trek, check that out. That's his last post of last year. Eugene Bird says, if Barclay was really so smart, would he be so horny? Or is that uncorrelated? That's a Scotty question.
Well, intellectual superiority has more appetites. Bev does say that he has inspiration, imagination, all elevated. And in terms of his response to Troy and saying, do you want to take a walk around the Arboretum? I guess it's either confidence or horniness. I think maybe both.
That's a good point. And the increase in confidence has something to do with that. But he's always had a crush on Troy. And so this is just manifesting somehow through the alien influence. And I'd like to say hello to Sean Ellis, who says, the only character I liked from Star Trek is 7 of 9. She was hot, even as part machine. Yeah, she's part Borg and cyborg. And
part human, part Borg, all sexy.
Yes, and everyone thinks Harry Kim is, they can't understand why he didn't take her up on her offer.
Oh no, that did not wash with me. But then again, maybe
there's a reason. But
I'm base. Yeah, exactly. Maybe he was intimidated.
Yeah. Canadian Spider-Man says, welcome to the chat. Please consider hitting the like and subscribe buttons to help grow the channel.
Yeah.
And she's beautiful. Jerry Ryan. Is. I met her and she's sweet. She liked my child. I didn't have two yet when I met her. But let's get back to this array.
Yes, let's get back to the array. Again, I like with the special effects on this. Like, obviously, it's a very detailed array, and then the image of like the little Enterprise in the back. I like it. I like it a lot.
I do too. That's why I've stayed on it for so long. Well, that certainly isn't going straight to his ego. Oh, right. That's Beverly filling up Barclay. So that's where we left off before we went on our tangent talking about lollipops.
Yes, you're welcome.
And Riker says, whatever that alien probe did to him, Barclay now seems to know more about the internal workings of the Enterprise than anyone else on board. And so Riker is worried because Barclay has been influenced by the alien probe. And not like Geordi says is just because he's too smart. Like, Geordi seemed worried about this before, but now he seems to be defending him. Until, and even Picard says, until he does something more menacing, I see no reason why we should prevent him from continuing his work. And that's kind of foreshadowing that he is going to do something more menacing.
There she is.
Oh yeah, there she is. It's just a lot of fun to watch Barclay go from lacking confidence to gaining super knowledge, lots of and super intelligence. Just everything is culminating to the end at this point. But of course, if you haven't seen it before, you don't know quite where it's going. But there's a reason for all of it. And Barclay says thermal levels up 177%. Comparable increase in neutron emissions. And so the problem here is that they can't save the array. Barclay knows exactly what to do to save the array, but the interface is not good enough.
He needs something to directly interact with his brain. And brain, what is brain?
Couldn't even guess at your IQ level now.
Probably.
Lieutenant, you could very well be the most advanced human being who has ever lived.
I see no reason why we should prevent him from continuing his work.
No, I can't do anything from here. I have to find a better interface.
Yeah, so the interface isn't fast enough to deal with Barclay's instructions. So he's got to plug himself directly into the computer, and that's what we're going to do. We got to, because otherwise, data says reactor 9 is going to go critical in 10 minutes and 43 seconds. So that's our ticking clock. And the explosion will destroy everything in that on the array, and of course, if the Enterprise hangs around, the Enterprise too, I'm sure. The array is and so Picard makes a reasonable assumption that they should get the hell out of there. So, but Barclay is running. He's on a mission, and so of course he connects with the Enterprise computer and takes away helm control from Picard, so he cannot run away as he's trying to do.
And this is one of the best when he's sitting there and he's like, he wants the chair. He sits down immediately. He wants an alphanumeric and a image consoles assigned to left and right hands. And then he's like, and now I need a neural interface. And it's like, the computer just is like, I don't know what that is. And he's like, no problem. Here's how you build one. It's so good.
Here's how you build it.
It is. It is. No, I love this idea because of course before it was him, because he already has such a connection with the holodeck. It makes sense that this is what he thinks of, and he appreciates what the holodeck can do.
Oh, Jill.
Yes.
I had no idea that today is the 99th Plomeek Teatime. We're doing a Gretzky. That's great. Anyway, sorry, tangent.
Yeah, it's the 99th. We'll have 100. Well, we'll talk later about what we're going to do for the 100th.
Sure, sounds good. Anyway, I just noticed the number.
Mm-hmm. Computer. And so he makes his chair, he makes the console, and he teaches the holodeck how to build what he needs. And meanwhile, the array's about to explode, and with just 12 seconds left, the Argus reactors are shutting down, and the computer is given back to the bridge. So we don't see exactly how Barclay achieves this awesomeness of shutting down the reactors. It just happens almost instantaneously. According to the bridge, according to the entire crew, can't fathom how Barclay's done it. And he's done this insane thing that saves the array, and by extension the ship as well, since it's stuck there thanks to him. But also at the same time, cutting off warp capabilities is not that cool. I guess he didn't have time. Obviously, he didn't have time to consult with Picard. Like, I need you to not go, because I've got an alien influence. An alien is influencing me to do because, and that's the reason. That's the reason why he doesn't do things like a Starfleet officer should, is because now the alien has completely overtaken him, He's completely controlled. And Barclay says, "I'm sorry, Captain. I was only trying to help. Our computer was too slow to compensate for the overload on the array. So I created an interface that communicated my thoughts directly to the central processing unit." So he's transferred his entire, like he said, this is like Spock's brain. He transferred the entire contents of his mind into the computer, and that's why he's. I guess I was saying to someone last night, he's the computer, but of course he's not the computer. As I was rightly corrected, I don't know if Phantom Outsider is here, but I'll credit him with that. I suppose maybe it's more accurate to call him maybe a cyborg, and and of course. Oh, okay. And there's his brain, thus transferred, has grown too much to return to Barclay's physical brain without Barclay dying. So for now, he is practically part of the ship's computer, more of a cyborg, as I was helped to recontextualize. And let's see what's going on in the chat. Rumor has it that 7 of 9. What? Greek letters, Larson. Brinko Walker says, "Please subscribe, hit the bell, share, hit like, select live chat." And Chanel says, "I gotta give credit to Star Trek. They had a lot of beautiful women on their cast. Nichelle Nichols was hot too." Yeah, Sean Ellis, of course. I love Nichelle Nichols. She's a goddess. She's beautiful and amazing. And I'm so glad that she decided to stick with Star Trek even when she wanted to leave, thanks to Martin Luther King. One of these days, I did my very first live stream on this channel was all about McCoy, and so it was all about DeForest Kelley. And I need to do a similar live stream, but for Nichelle Nichols, and I think that's the next one that I'll be doing of that nature. That I'm absolutely ready, far beyond ready to do. One of those things I should have done a long time ago.
I agree.
Yeah. Sean Ellis says, without Star Trek, I think technology wouldn't be what it is today. Like cell phones, tasers, flat screen TVs, many other devices we live to use. It's just a fact that Star Trek has influenced lots of inventors and science and people, kids, to become scientists and astronauts and everything. So definitely there's a huge influence on the world through Star Trek.
I remember being so happy when tablets came out, and I was like, finally, I can have my own pad. Same with cell phones. I want my own communicator. Oh, there it is.
And you don't need 20 of the pads. You just needed one for everything.
Yes. Although they do like to have a mess of pads.
They do. No, I know. It's just show just how hard they're working. Sean Ellis says, Sean Ellis is talking to Centauri and Shirtani, which is good.
Yeah.
Disney is for kids. Well.
Yeah. Actually,
yeah,
you know what? I've been acquiring a whole bunch of like DVDs and Blu-rays of classic Disney movies. It's a great time. It's a good time.
Do you have any Star Trek ringtones? Yeah, definitely. I don't have a list or anything, but I know I've been using a Red Dwarf ringtone for a while now. But let's get back to this episode. We're almost through with it. And the array is still here thanks to Barclay. Barclay's brain being in the computer. He's transferred his whole brain into to interface into the computer, and he cannot be reintegrated because his human brain cannot contain how much his brain has grown in the Starship computer. And they're basically saying, I don't know where Barclay begins and the computer ends, and So it's very difficult.
Well, it does become very tense as well. It's like when Picard says to Worf, "Go disconnect, Mr. Barclay," and it's like, okay, does that mean just go and fry him? And then when they do get back into the into the holodeck, I was like, thank God they weren't just gonna zap him. And they're like, take out the nodes, take out the computer and the machinery. I don't know what that would do to him. Like, I don't know if that would kill him.
Yeah, well, that is the plan. I think Data comes up with it as a alternate way to stop Barclay without killing him, and so that's the assumption that I'm taking from it. Because why would he suggest that if it wouldn't save Barclay? Otherwise, they could just otherwise they just have to kill him. So it has to be something good for Barclay. Otherwise, they wouldn't be going through all this effort. And it wouldn't give them complete control of the ship, apparently, but it would give them access to the propulsions. And meanwhile, while all this is happening, while they're trying to get Barclay disconnected from the ship, LaForge is trying to distract him by getting him to talk about everything he's learned. And Barclay says, "I can conceive almost infinite possibilities. I can fully explore each of them in a nanosecond. I perceive the universe as a single equation, and it's all so simple." And so, let's see if I have...
I created an interface that communicated my thoughts directly to the central processing unit.
It is now almost impossible to tell where Barclay ends and the computer begins.
I perceive the universe as a single equation,
and not only that, he says that he can make it so that the Enterprise can explore wherever they want without the limitations of warp travel. Of course, this is never spoken of again or used by Janeway to get home, but it's just one of those things where a godlike being imbues the all-powerful knowledge of how to get everywhere in the universe. I guess through those conduits that wormhole conduit that is made later on in this episode. But I'm glad, of course, that we don't have that access. That would be ridiculously overpowered.
Well, and that's they do. Sorry,
I was just saying, using the mycelium network and doing that thing. It's getting an instantaneous transfer. It's basically, once you open that up, you're taking away areas to build drama. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Proof of what a garbage idea it is to keep that kind of thing.
Well, and the same thing when they were when JJ Trek made it so that you could beam from Earth to Kronos.
Oh,
do you even need spaceships anymore?
Right, the suitcase transporter. My goodness.
But I do understand. I appreciate how it is achieved in this episode and then sort of dismissed afterwards when they're all in 10 Forward, and it's like, do you remember anything? And it's like, well, yeah, I remember doing it. I don't know how I did it, and I don't know why I was doing it, but I remember doing it.
Yep. But Picard wants Barclay to quit it.
What it is you're doing?
I really rather not, sir.
That's what the episode should be called. Barclay, quit it.
Rather not, sir.
Barclay would rather not. Barclay, I really would rather not, sir. I'm positive that you will be pleased with the result once I finished. And they cut him off, and they try to do their plan, but this is where Troy's been pretty good most of the episode, but this is where she messes up. She says, "Captain, let me go to the holodeck and try to talk to him." And of course, Barclay's taking it upon himself to redesign the warp technology so that they can travel wherever they need to travel, and won't stop when Picard says. And that's his intelligence is vast, but his also his arrogance is too, because of the alien probe. influencing everything he's doing. And I think he's pretty much overtaken. He's completely controlled by it. He thinks he is now superior due to his intelligence, and and I'm sure the real Barclay wouldn't behave this way. He's probably just like you said at the end. I knew what I was doing, but I don't know why I was doing. So I don't. Barclay would never behave in this way in any way. So this isn't him any longer. And Troy is trying to reason with this. Well, she's already kind of speaking to the alien in a way, and Barclay sounding like the alien. Young children are sometimes frightened of the world. You said this quote earlier. That doesn't mean that their parents should let them stay in their cribs. And that is the way that the alien sees humanity, and so that is the way Barclay is now communicating with the crew. There's a hint of Barclay left saying, "I've always wanted to earn your respect," but it's quite minimal. And this is where Troy messes up. She says, "The captain will do everything in his power to stop you." And so, immediately after this, the ODN bypass solution is thwarted by Barclay. And it was probably because Troy warned him that they would try to stop him. So that is where Troy almost got everyone killed.
Well, but no, that he doesn't get, like, she doesn't get everybody all killed, because this is all completely safe. It's just not explained well to the crew, and it's not understood.
It is. And it is safe. And I know that it's safe except for Barclay. Well, maybe she almost gets Barclay killed, because they're trying everything. They are trying everything to stop him. I know he's got that force field that we're going to see that Worf cannot get through. But basically at this point, Picard makes a tough decision to disconnect Barclay from the computer, which will have the tragic consequence of killing Mr. Barclay. This is a decision that Picard makes for the sake of everyone. Because they don't realize that it's safe. They don't realize that it's just an alien who wants to say hi.
Well, and that's, again, that's one of the best parts about watching Star Trek, is that sometimes the difficulties that hop up and confront our heroes aren't always malevolent in nature. Like, sometimes there is just a big old Santa Claus saying Merry Christmas at the center of the galaxy. It doesn't always have to be someone who's seeking revenge or a plot against the Federation. It's hi, how are you?
Oh, yeah, but what a way to do it.
I know.
But at this point, we're with Worf and the security team trying to stop Barclay. He's already protecting himself. Of course, Barclay is protecting himself with shielding. And he even says, I in no way take what you're doing personally.
And that I will in no way take your actions personally.
Although I did like this one thing that Troy said.
How can we trust an officer who doesn't follow orders?
Well, we make 5 seasons of a show about her.
I know.
Sorry, I didn't want to. I did, though. I did want to. I brought up Mikey Burnham. Whatever. Although he's got a very Lawnmower Man sort of creepiness.
Yes. That is one of the things I thought about with this episode was Lawnmower Man. Absolutely one of the references that I consider.
And if you're into classic Doctor Who, there's the vibe of him sitting in there that was like many times over 50 years of classic Who. There's a few episodes with villains and antagonists like that.
Oh yeah. Kind of like a Davros kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, but as Scotty was saying, this one isn't necessarily a villain, more of a antagonist.
Yeah, that's why I said villain antagonist. Yeah, because.
And then so as a method of travel, then the Enterprise goes into the red swirly thing. It's a wormhole. normal. But it's red and swirly. Oh, are we this far behind? I ran through my notes.
Well, you were admiring the array.
I was. That it's a really cool looking array.
Also, big ups to the yellow service jumpsuits. I really, you don't get to see them very often. I don't think I've seen them since season 1, really, maybe season 2. But I love it when they get on their work smocks.
Yeah, this is a pretty cool outfit. I want to say hello also to DJ Knight. He's here in the chat now. Or she? I don't know, he or she. I've never actually asked.
I'm not sure. I just said hello to DJ.
Oh, for God's sake, says Greek letters Larson. Oh my God, should I read this?
Do you want me to? This is more my jam.
Yeah, I guess so. But there's a red swirly thing. Now we caught up.
There is. They will penetrate the anomaly. For God's sake, if they want to distract Lieutenant Barclay, it's super easy. Just have Counselor Troy flash her boobies at him.
Well,
he's beyond such things. And what Old Man Bird was saying earlier is like, does super smart make you super horny? Well, now he's gone past the super horny part. Now he's just completely dismissive of all carbon units.
Oh, but is that really true, Scotty? Because he says it's a shame I can't take you on that walk.
Oh, that's true too.
Yeah, so that's still there. So Greek
and
letters
he is
onto some.
He is integrated into the computer, so technically, I guess he is, somehow involved in the sonic shower operations. So maybe he's showered with everyone on the ship in the last 12 hours. Whoever had a break.
That is something that nobody considers in this episode, is how Barclay could be invading people's privacy.
But again, he's super smart. Maybe he's not interested in such base interactions.
Maybe. He is distracted with the mission that the aliens have put him on. They want him to bring the Enterprise to them, and so that is what everything Barclay is doing is to that goal, that end goal.
I wonder if he's giving people lip.
I don't know, yeah.
People are showing up at the replicators. I would like a coffee with, what? Chief O'Brien, coffee, black, double sweet. You shouldn't have so much sugar, Chief. Shut up, Barclay.
Your blood pressure is high. Greek letters Larson says, in real life, if an officer tried to hack a computer like this and endangered the ship, he would get phasered in the ass, which is actually what Picard eventually decides to do when he realizes there's no way to reason with Barclay. But it doesn't work because of the force field that Barclay puts around his chair.
Well, and we do get an insight into that as well when Data commandeers the Enterprise in Brothers. They eventually get to a point where it's like, just shoot him. I don't wanna, but just shoot him.
Yeah, you do reach that point. In Star Trek, you always try to find a way around the violence, but sometimes you can't.
Well, but also, remembering our friend Pop Culture Curator, part of the problem is sometimes you just gotta get into a fist fight. Why are you always talking? What's with the conferences?
This is something no one considers. If I was captain in that instance, I would issue an order for teleportation for Lieutenant Barclay outside the ship. Problem solved. Well, he's in a force field, so maybe he could survive it. But he can't, because he can't be disconnected from the computer or he's going to die. So either way, you can't do that unless you want Barclay to die.
Well, and not only that, but when they try and get the propulsion systems rerouted from engineering directly to the bridge, he takes care of that. Maybe he could shut down the transporters as well.
Yeah, possibly he did do that, but they just didn't. Since they didn't try it, we didn't see that those systems weren't working. We're data says we're experiencing a quantum modal oscillation delay, doubling in intensity every 12.3 seconds. Biocellular disruption is imminent. And so that's the scene that we're coming up with, where they're traveling through this wormhole. And that is where we're going. We're going through the wormhole. 30,000 light years to the center of the galaxy. And of course, as mentioned before in this live stream, this isn't the first time we've gone to the center of the galaxy. If everyone remembers Star Trek V, The Final Frontier, where they get to meet a godlike alien.
Isn't it weird though that the last time we went to the center of the galaxy we saw a large disembodied head, and now we go back to the center of the galaxy and there's a nice disembodied head?
So the real question is the god alien in Star Trek V really just an evil Cytherian?
Ooh, that's a good question.
But they also went into the center of the galaxy in a Star Trek animated series episode where also really weird things happened and then they met somebody who looks a lot like Lucifer. So it's fun.
Oh, right. The Magics of Megas 2?
Yeah. They've gone to Plaid. Yeah, exactly. Nobody can explain how they're traveling through, like, how this wormhole is manifested that they're traveling through. But Barclay did it. And that's... Why are they going at ludicrous speeds? Yeah, so I appreciate all the Spaceballs references in the chat.
Yes.
It's very, very correct. As Lister says in Polymorph, let's get out there and twat it. I love that episode. It's a good one. And it's so great to be with you guys here today. And they are... Oh, this is my first live stream of the year, yeah. Yeah, because I had the last live stream was a New Year's Eve live stream. So happy 2025 as we head into the wormhole. Jill is a cyberspace explorer. And yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. And I bring people here to learn about everything that they know about, and they tell me about things that I don't know, and hopefully I can impart what I have found out. I do spend a good amount of time doing research for these to be sure I know what I'm talking about, which is very helpful in starting that communication with people who already have so much knowledge. And so I'm so glad to be able to talk to you guys. And Franco Walker says, Happy New Year, everyone. And here, we made it. We made it to a scene that kind of reminds me of the motion picture where they're going through this wormhole and the effects are a little shaky. And happy belated birthday. Oh, thank you. Thank you, James Caserta. I had such a terrible birthday that it's good to hear that. Because I had the flu. And so now I can actually celebrate being alive another year at this point. And so they get to the center of the galaxy. And we're all very happy about this. But the Enterprise crew is just confused by it. They think they're going to die. The Enterprise crew do not think that they're not very happy about it. When I say we're very happy, I mean the audience is happy watching this episode because it's so fun. But the crew think that they're going to be torn apart, basically. As a biocellular disruption is imminent. That's not good. So But at the same time, all systems are back under helm control, so all control is given back to the crew, and we meet our aliens who have kidnapped the Enterprise for, just say hello. There's a whole. So we get our giant, white-haired, bearded humanoid head,
Santa.
Santa, and he says, "Emotive electrochemical stimulus response, cranial plate, bipedal locomotion, endoskeletal, contiguous external integument." So he just wants to explore. He just wants to explore. He's just explorers, just like them.
So this is just his
stimulus response.
Hi there.
This is just what? Hey.
No, what's the quote from the motion picture? Oh no, it's from Star Trek 4. It's like, are you saying that this is the probe's way of saying hi there to the people of the Earth? And Spock is like, well, it's kind of arrogant.
Right. How do you know they're trying to talk to that arrogant to assume that they're talking to you? There's other intelligent life on Earth. And that is that's a great movie. But at least it's obvious now to everybody watching that Barclay's mind was controlled, and so he only disobeyed orders because the alien made him do it. and as it turns out, these aliens are not evil villains. They're just curious about us. And actually, in earlier drafts, the Cytherian was going to be more malevolent, but this was changed to avoid being typical. So Barclay is reintegrated by the Cytherians. They were the only ones who could possibly do this, and they did. They weren't able to. So the reason why the Argus array. So we finally found out why the Argus array almost exploded. It was because they tried to do this. They tried to reprogram it, but it failed, and it failed with the computer on board the shuttle. But they were able to reprogram Lieutenant Barclay, and they're both on the same mission to seek out new life, new civilizations. And they just want to exchange knowledge and get to know about other people in the galaxy, other beings, other aliens. And we have another captain's log, which I will ask Naladoc to read for me if you're here.
I can do it if he isn't available.
I'm here, but I'm waiting for it patiently.
All right. Fair enough.
Captain's log, stardate 44721.9. After 10 days in the company of the Cytherians, the Enterprise has been safely returned to Federation space. And all of a sudden, I saw Barclay's mouth open. We bring back knowledge of their race that will take our scholars decades to examine. Lieutenant Barclay is apparently no worse for this experience.
Hooray!
Hooray, yeah. The Cytherians explore by sending out probes designed to bring the galaxy to them. They're explorers, but in a different way. One that requires kidnapping. They're not really evil. I don't think they know that what they're doing is wrong, but still definitely a haphazard antagonist like Q, if Q were really lazy.
Yes. What is the opposite of a traveler?
The opposite of traveler, basically. I appreciate that they were just trying to seek out new life as well. But I think this episode could be slightly improved if Picard told them that, just so you know, most people don't like being hijacked and kidnapped, and that they almost had Barclay killed because of this takeover. Because of the danger that he was posing to the ship. So, guys, if you could figure out how to bring ships to you in record time, couldn't you also do that with your communication? For example, Hey guys, we're Cytherians, an alien race who would love to meet you, but we can't be bothered to travel to you. However, we could bring you to us. Please let us know if this is something you're interested in, or if we can safely imbue our talents into one of your crew to amend your vessel to reach us for the exchange of knowledge. And okay, and I guess their answer would be, they always say anytime someone asks this question in an episode, like if they actually asked this, if Picard actually had this scene with them, their answer would be, but you might have said no.
Oh, right, like the Binars. I was actually thinking that this guy was like a nicer version of Nagilum from Loud as a Whisper. Was it Loud as a Whisper?
Oh, yeah.
What was the Nagilum episode?
Nagilum, oh, that was another floaty head.
Yes, it was. It was season 1, wasn't it? Or was that season 2?
Season
that was
2,
early on.
Yeah, because he asks Dr. Pulaski to perform a mating ritual so that he could watch.
It's okay, so I had to look it up. It's Where Silence Has Lease.
Right.
And that's season, no, like you said, season 2.
Season 2,
episode 2.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Lord Thoth, for being on top of it, and it's good to see you. Nama 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 nama.
Oh yeah, welcome. So of course this is a typical thing. They want to know all about us, so they spend 10 days with these aliens. And they say that they've learned lots of stuff from the aliens, that they actually exchanged knowledge with them, and that Starfleet will take 10 years to analyze all of that. And that's really exciting. And you think, oh, I wonder how they're going to integrate this into the future of Star Trek. And they really don't. We don't learn about anything of how Cytherian knowledge has influenced Starfleet.
Yeah, think about all those first contact people in the original series that we saw once and then we never ever, the Enterprise just kept moving on and we never hear them referenced again or impacting lore in any other way.
That's exactly what this is.
That's typical of our dramas like this. I mean,
yeah, it works.
Oh yeah, like we never heard of the exocomps again.
Oh, but they're so cute. What? Oh, there should be exocomps everywhere after that episode. But I have a few clips I haven't played yet.
Hierarchical collective command structure.
I just like that one.
Both on the same mission, Captain. They never leave their home. They bring others
to them.
Checkmate in 9 moves.
And that's my favorite part of the episode. We see here that Barclay, yes, he retains something of what he's gone through. It wasn't completely, the Cytherians did not extract everything, all of the gift that they gave Barclay. Some of the gift remained behind, and I appreciate that Barclay's personality is restored completely. He is exactly the same Barclay, but just with a little extra, and that little extra allows him to be a hero that figures out how to connect the Alpha Quadrant with the Delta Quadrant so that Voyager can talk to home through the Pathfinder episode. Later on, when we see Barclay return to Star Trek Voyager. So,
I do enjoy the Barclay episodes of Voyager. They're great.
Mm-hmm. And I think this episode is something that helps make that possible. But that
really
he
does
dates himself.
It really does shock me that, because he's still alive, right? I'm forgetting the actor's name.
Dwight Schultz.
Yeah, Dwight Schultz. He's just up there in age, I think. But I'm shocked they didn't somehow fit him into a cameo into Picard season 3. So many other people got their little moments from TNG Roe, and that would have been, he would have been logical to have, given his experience, he would have been logical to have in that story, even in a small capacity.
Well, and it was one of my favorite things in terms of him showing up in First Contact. I did really enjoy that.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Because he becomes more than a bit player. I mean, and you like when you do see him pop back in, and it makes the world, the whole world building just feels so much more real to have these semi-recurring characters.
Well, yeah, and it's like when Miles O'Brien gets the upgrade on Deep Space Nine, gets promoted, but not really.
Well, yeah. Well,
he is the focal point of all Star Trek, though.
Yes, he is an anchor.
I'm not a fan of Picard season 3, but I do like the First Contact reference. I do appreciate seeing Barclay nerd out over seeing Zephram Cochrane, because this is somebody that he's read about in his textbooks, and he's just fanboying all over this whole thing. It's adorable, and I do love seeing Barclay any time I can. And so I'm glad that we didn't get a super special way to extend the limitations of warp, as we mentioned earlier. That would be terrible, and we saw exactly how it would be terrible. We talked about that before, but just basically to summarize, this episode is a joy because it's a dream to be just gifted with this kind of vast, unconquerable knowledge that you could reach out and help everyone so easily, and it's really neat to be able to have that kind of power. And I appreciated that his that this is explored in this way, and every scene just shows his improved intellect, his confidence grows, and even when that confidence is even when his personality is restored at the end, he's still, I know he retains something of that experience, just as Troy says. And I just love all the scenes in this episode. And of course, my favorite, as I said, is the end there. My least favorite part is that we don't get to learn all the things that Starfleet gets to learn about the Cytherians. What the hell did they learn? I don't know.
Maybe it was an advancement of the holographic technology. Maybe that's part of the reason. Like, I don't know. It every time you say, "Are you going to, like, I have to go to the store?" and it's like, "Yes, I am going to go to the store." Thank heavens for John Ford, who's Henry Ford. Henry Ford invented the automobile, and it's like, okay, all right, we don't need to hear the entire. Thank you, Mr. Data. We know that the Cytherians were involved in this particular technology. We don't need to be reminded of it every time.
Yes, and that's the episode. I mean, it's just TNG is really great, and I'm glad you guys wanted to talk about it with me. And we have lots of chat that I haven't got to yet, so let's see what's going on with the chat.
Well, and as I mentioned, Jill, I do have to step away just because I have Plumber here, and so if I do have an opportunity to come back, I will, but I do have to tend to that for a bit.
That's okay. I appreciate that. Well, at least we got to the end of the episode. Do you have any in case? I mean, I do hope you return before.
I will do my. I will do my best.
She doesn't want to be stuck with me. I'm bored.
Oh, no, come on! Everyone wants to be stuck with you.
Oh, okay. I'm really sorry, Nala Doc. I didn't mean to make it sound
you
like that.
You could call me Nala. Everybody else just calls me Nala.
Nala. Okay.
There you go. You guys play nice. I'll be back in a bit.
I need to find my
chat, Jill. We're occupying Jill's channel. Get to the chat.
Now, well, at this moment, we finished our review of the Nth Degree because
Power Rangers went out in the 90s.
As amazing as this episode is, you can't really talk much more about it after 2 hours. So this segment of from here on out, the segment of the live
next
stream,
9 hours of the live stream are
the next 9 hours of this live stream are just the shore leaves. And so we could talk about whatever now. If there's a topic you want to talk about,
Let's do the chat. Yeah, like the Power Rangers. I kind of want to see that last movie they did that kind of bombed. I do want to see that
it
one.
bombed. I heard it wasn't bad. I heard
Well,
it was
I
okay.
think the trailers. The trailers looked good in terms of being a slightly more adult story, which, you know, I mean, it is a kid's property, but you know, as fans, the kids. I mean, I was an adult when that was, you know, brought over to the U.S. So I was in my 20s. So, but we kind of watched some of the first ones.
I was a kid. I was 7 years old, running around trying to be a little Pink Ranger.
Am I that much older than you?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh my
yeah,
God!
No, I was, but and the thing is, the cool thing about being a Power Rangers fan when you're a girl is that there aren't any other ones, and so nobody fought me to be the Pink Ranger. So I got to have
the Yellow Ranger was often female.
Oh yeah, the Yellow Ranger is the other option. That's right. That's right. See, I should have had one other friend so we could have been a pair. But no, I
had a crush on the Green Ranger, so that was kind of why I watched.
Aw. I don't remember any of their names or anything. The Green Ranger.
The original Green Ranger. Yeah, I only remember that first era's characters, and then he became the White Ranger. Tommy with the long hair. I think that he went on to be in a lot of. I mean, I know he died about a year or two ago, but he went on to be really involved, I think, in the franchise as a whole in a very healthy way, from what I've read.
Oh, that's good. Well, yeah, and rest in peace to him. I did basically stop watching the Power Rangers after the Green Ranger became the White Ranger. And so for me, it did go out with the 90s. I agree with this, Sean Ellis. But Sentai Ranger Johnny has been a fan since the beginning, and he continues to be a fan today, all the way up. But I think he appreciates mostly the Power Rangers since the late 2000s.
Well, also, I think he's implying here that he's a fan of the source material too, not the Power Rangers edited American version. If he's saying the Super Sentai fan, I'm assuming that's what he means. But
yeah, I never really knew exactly what Donnie meant.
I mean, I'm only somewhat knowledgeable of the fact. I mean, but you know,
you're more knowledgeable than I.
There's a lot of Super Sentai shows over the decades. Some that were brought over to the U.S. and re-gutted into things like Power Rangers and all. But yeah, see.
The only thing I do know is that they did bring over all of those kaiju scenes from Japan.
Yeah, the source material was there. But when they're not in costume is not anything to do with anything.
Well, right. They integrated 90210 into Power Rangers, kind of. Except they can do some martial arts now. I think the integration is pretty fun. When they evolved to other places like Space Police, it sucked. Oh man, I didn't even get that far, Sean Ellis. So.
Well, because that's the problem is the different Super Sentai series, they're not necessarily connected sometimes. So to use that material for Power Rangers lore means some really drastic changes at times to the way the story goes. You end up with Power Rangers and Space Police now. You know, you end up with these weird things that normally in an American writing may not have taken it in that direction, but they have to do it because they have all that source material from Japan they need to use.
It makes sense. They're different. They're completely different stories.
I mean, Rita Repulsa was the best. That early era is the most fun for me.
Mm. Oh yeah, she is. She is awesome. She's been asleep for a while. And yeah, she's a great villain. I don't remember very much from Power Rangers. I enjoyed it, and I don't know. I guess I was too young to have a good memory of it. I'd have to rewatch it.
I bet it would be very hard to watch as an adult.
I think so. I think
your nostalgia will be destroyed. So it's best to just leave it in your head as what you like.
And even as a kid, I remember, man, this is a little heavy-handed. They did have some PSAs sometimes.
Oh yeah, 'cause they had to. That was kind of almost they had to hide the fact that they were just trying to sell toys.
Greek Letters Larson says we're going to need a bigger head. Sorry, wrong movie again. Oh, we're going to need a bigger boat. No, okay.
What is the Greek letters? Basically, are literally larlum, kind of transliterated. What does that mean? Is that I can't think of that being anything.
I don't know, but for the people who have analyzed the translation, they've come up with Dionysius Larson, which I don't know how it comes from that, but I just roll with it, and he's okay with what we call him. He hasn't complained yet. But he says that it comes from gaming, like it's a.
Okay. So it's not anything old Greek or anything.
Yeah.
I have that useless degree in classical Greek civilization and history. That's why I was trying to pronounce it and look at it. I'm like, I don't see anything in there that makes any sense to me, but it's not.
Oh, that's new information to me. I didn't know you knew how to. You read it yourself. That's amazing.
Well, that's the way I thought it would be pronounced if I was trying to transliterate it from the Greek I know, which isn't necessarily modern Greek, but still, I have lots of useless history. My past is full of useless information like that.
I wouldn't say knowing Greek is useless information.
Oh no, I don't. I can kind of read it these days, but I haven't. We're talking 30 years ago now. Oh my God. Yeah. Long time ago. Billions and billions of years ago.
Billions of years ago. This is before the Earth was even formed. Now,
I used to be somewhat fluent in over 5 languages, and now I can't do anything. So sad.
5 languages. That's impressive. I barely know like a little bit of Spanish, and I can't speak it.
Spanish, French, Polish, ancient Greek, and then English, but I can still read some French, read some Greek and ancient Greek, read some Polish, but I can't be fluent and converse without looking like a total idiot. So, because I don't have anybody, I've never, in all these 30 years or so, I haven't had anybody to really talk to.
Oh,
so
yes.
You lose it if you don't use it.
Yeah, you don't have that interaction. The immersion is a big, important part in language learning.
Yes, that it is.
Wow. And, oh yeah, of course, we're going to remember Khan. I don't mind remembering Khan. Old Man Bird says, in the early original series, Kirk dumped such a guy on a planet and tried to abandon him.
Was he going to have?
Wait a minute. What?
Yeah, I'm trying to. Old Man Bird. Can you elaborate on what episode is the radiated part? Is the thing that's.
Yeah, that last part doesn't line up with Khan because the planet just accidentally got destroyed.
City Alpha 6. City Alpha 6.
City Alpha 5.
Destroyed. This is City Alpha 5. City Alpha 6. I'm trying to remember the line. You'd think for a movie I've seen literally probably 200 times in my life that I would know the line by heart. Oh, Ricardo Montalban.
Well, he says, this is City Alpha 5. I know that because City Alpha 6 was destroyed. And that's the whole reason he's super big mad.
Admiral Kirk never checked on our progress.
Oh yeah. Tristad planet radiated. I know all of the original series. I just reviewed all of it on my channel. But Fun TNG episode, if you ask me. I agree completely. And then they made their Spaceballs jokes. I remember that. Let's see what else is going on in the chat. TNG has a psychiatrist on the bridge. Yeah, they did. Well, they were trying to explore what it would be like to have a counselor in the future. How would medicine progress mentally, like in the future? And that was what Troy was all about, but she ended up being, sometimes just the person who tries to analyze some alien to discover their intent. And so it kind of that kind of gets run away. The idea kind of got put in the back burner a lot of the times. This is one of the few episodes where she's actually doing what she's supposed to be doing in terms of being a counselor, but she's also being a friend to Barclay.
They had a very special relationship over the course of all those seasons.
And I mentioned the motion picture scene. Gavin Blackburn, I wish I would have known.
That's laser order.
Torpedoes away.
I'm partial to the scene. I like the scene. I was 9 sitting in the theater watching that when it dropped, and for one of the most boring movies for a 9-year-old, I still love the effects.
I love that scene too, and it's made extra special because Isaac Asimov was the science consultant on this episode, and at the time we didn't really exactly know what would have happened, so that extrapolation was appreciated. But rest in peace, Bird of Prey 5. He absolutely hated that scene. So I wish you were here today so I could ask him how he feels about this scene, which is slightly similar. But I can't. Universal Armageddon, and you're quoting logic. Oh, yes, a Spock quote. I mean, a McCoy quote. That's a McCoy quote to Spock. And about Genesis. Oh, you guys, I love you guys making me think. James Caserta says Jillian Taylor says, and so they say that is so Nimoy sounding when the clowns run the circus and the inmates run the asylum.
That is a very Nimoy sounding. What I loved is I hate the fact that some of your stills you put up, I read them in the voices of Michael Dorn as Worf. That's what's so funny. Reading the subtitle, I'm hearing it in his voice, not any other voice. The other characters that didn't do that, though, him with Michael Dorn, for some odd reason, they were in his voice in my head.
And I didn't really talk too much about Worf in this episode, but he is very helpful. He does do his job. He is there doing all of the things, laying on the phaser fire and the torpedoes and doing everything he's supposed to do. I guess he wasn't integral to the plot. So except for that, we need him. We need Worf. Yeah, we need Worf. He did a good job. He looked good. But Lord Thoth summarizes the entire 2 hours that I spent reviewing this episode with you two. He says, couch potato? Okay. Yep. The Cytherians are couch potatoes. A stay-at-home traveler, also Franco Walker says. And this is the point here where 24 minutes ago had arrived. So that, as they say, is that, brother. Yeah.
Bless you, Joe.
Yes, this is what DJ Knight says. Old Man Bird says, well, we discover we are not alone. Will Scotty R37 or Max Redstone be our Zephram Cochrane?
I won't comment about Scotty on that one.
Well, I won't comment about Scotty, but Max Redstone is already exploring the stratosphere, or he's exploring the atmosphere with his drones. He is a pilot. He's a drone pilot, and he is exploring. He even sent me a video saying happy birthday with his drone, and
oh, nice.
It was really cool, and he's got a special talent. So, Max Redstone, that's really amazing that you work so hard on your hobby and are really good with your drone. But are you working on warp drive? That's what we need next. Are you going to be our Zephram Cochrane? And Lord Thoth says, he answered our question. I didn't have to look it up.
We're silence at least. We're silence. I'm trying to remember. Okay, we're silence at least.
Yeah,
God,
so that's
I'm getting old.
That's the one with the Nagilum, the other alien.
Okay.
That was kind of he was more malicious. It was more, not just a kind explorer. Thank you so much, Lord Thoth. And yeah, everybody's saying hello in the chat. Good hellos. It's good to see each other. These years just seem to blend together.
Speaking of 2025, what are your big plans for the channel for 2025?
Okay, so one of the things I'm adding to the channel is some literature. I'm breaking into literature finally.
Ooh.
But I'm just going to be reading Lord of the Rings the entire year.
That's my area, Tolkien. That's my thing. Interesting.
Yeah.
Just Lord of the Rings or Tolkien in general?
No, just Lord of the Rings.
Okay.
Six chapters a month. I'm going to have a recording session with Tiger Stripes, and we're going to discuss the books, and I'm going to try to make it short so that I could have a shorter videos on my channel. It's my ongoing effort of having shorter content. Long form content. It's still considered, that's the confusing thing about YouTube, is the 10-minute videos are considered long form content.
Yep.
And when you say short content, you're talking about shorts.
59 seconds.
Like 59 seconds. So when you say long form content, it's 10 minutes, and then live streams are whatever you want. This is the Wild West over here with the live streams.
Well, if you do enjoy your Lord of the Rings dive, I hope you continue reading other Tolkien, and I would love to talk to you about the Silmarillion and some of the other stuff.
Absolutely.
I'm a first age Tolkien lover, so.
Well, as I'm reading the books, and I have any questions, I know who to go with those questions.
I may be able to answer you. I spent 2024 really revisiting a lot of Tolkien that I hadn't read, and yeah.
Oh, Laura's so
Fun
heavy.
times.
I know I'm gonna need help.
Well, understand, for the most part, there is no canon. There's a very thinly concept of canon, but even Tolkien was constantly revising it. So
Really?
yeah, it's interesting because the man continued to write basically and revise ideas until the day he died. So the only thing that you could really say is canon is the Hobbit and the Hobbit, second edition and later, and then the Lord of the Rings books. That's about it.
Well, that's all I need.
Yeah.
As far as canon goes for Tolkien.
But holding conversations with Tolkien fans, you end up going into this huge world. That's what I'm saying. Wait a minute, what happened there? This, but it can be fun.
We just keep it to Lord of the Rings, because I don't know all this other stuff you're throwing at me. And that's exactly what happens though. They consume the Hobbit, the Lord of the Rings. They're like, I want more, and there is more.
Consume the lore.
And there is more. There's the Silmarillion and all. There's lots of extra texts that I have not even begun.
Most fans of Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit, when they finally take that that moment to finally pick up the Silmarillion, and it's not a narrative like the other two books. It's
like
more
a
like
Bible.
mythology. Yeah, it's more like mythology and basic, simple stories, though there are some bigger tales in there that are then expanded upon elsewhere. But yeah, people have a hard time immediately going, whoa, this is not like what I just read.
Yeah,
But there's some wonderful YouTubers out there. I can't stress this enough, that I follow regularly that are amazing Tolkien lore people. Excellent stuff out there. If you ever,
yeah, no, I'd love to hear about them. I'll mention just one that I know personally is
Mhm.
Martin Muses, and I hope to talk to her about Lord of the Rings this year too. But I'll be asking her.
I'm a huge fan of Nerd of the Rings channel. He is excellent in what he does. Tolkien Untangled with Rainbow Davis, the guy's name. He does some really amazing. He's very excited what he talks about Tolkien in his essays. So you could just feel the exuberance of his love for the source material. It's great. There's many others too.
And that's important. That's important to have a love and a passion for the thing you're talking about on the internet.
In Deep Geek, that's another good channel like him.
Yeah, I think I am subscribed to Nerd of the Rings out of the three you just mentioned. So the other two.
Yeah, he's fan. He's a great YouTuber, great content, both live, his essays. He's traveled to cons and into New Zealand where they shot a lot of the films. Weta has given him things and some behind the scenes videos with Weta. Just the guy's top notch when it comes to Tolkien stuff on YouTube, at least.
Well, that's amazing. He's been to Hobbiton. That's one of the places I want to go sometime during my lifetime and have a drink at the Green Dragon at the end. And they have like a whole dinner.
Yeah. Huh? Personally, I think you should make Scotty suffer by making him have to be on your Lord of the Rings reviews, because he hates fantasy and he hates Lord of the Rings. He hates Tolkien. So
no, I let him off the hook. I'm gonna have.
I think he needs to be punished more.
I'll consider it. I will with myself later. But I'm losing my star. Where did my star go?
Your star?
Well, my star tells me where I am in the chat. Oh, there it is. I found it. So, circling back to Star Trek, you know why they don't mention Barclay again? What happens in the Enterprise stays in the Enterprise, as they say. No, they do mention him again. He shows up in Star Trek Voyager. James Caserta says, "I'm still looking backwards." Well, yeah, it does still feel like you want to reevaluate the entire past year, which makes sense. And Franco Walker says, "Good call. I never looked at it that way." And I don't know what I said. That was so good.
Unfortunately, that's the problem with the chat and the way when you're doing a live stream and people comment, but that relative connection to what they're commenting on may get lost 20 minutes later, and it's always fun to figure out and try to figure out what somebody said.
Cross-reference it later and find out by timing it just right. But yeah, just to see. But for now, we'll move on to Lieutenant Barclay is such a nerd that the Enterprise crew bullied him.
They did.
Yeah. Okay. So for that, we would have to go back to his very first appearance in Hollow Pursuits, and I really appreciate that episode so much because I always thought that Geordi should have had like my biggest problem with that episode. Geordi should have had more of a connection to Barclay because he had issues with fantasies on the holodeck too.
Oh, true.
Yeah, he he fell in love with the holodeck version of Leah Brahms, and and you would think that experience would let him see and connect with Barclay a little more. But I do appreciate. I love that episode. That is a
What season was Barclay introduced? What season was that?
What season
Was
was
it-
Hollow Pursuits?
I just wondered, was that post Roddenberry? If Roddenberry was still actively involved, which I don't think he was, you wouldn't have seen him being bullied. I don't think that Roddenberry kind of had. That's why I'm thinking it happened after Roddenberry wasn't really involved.
It's season 3. So,
Okay, yeah, there you go.
hmm So yeah, so that's basically true, but I don't think they go too hard in it. It's kind of they call him Broccoli because he's
Broccoli.
but it's because he's doing what he prefers to do, which is to carry out these fantasies on the holodeck, and so his work life is suffering as a result. And, it's a great episode, which I need to circle back and explore this one too.
I'm going ahead of you in the chat. I was
that's
just looking, and Bird, Old Man Bird, had a good comment. He had a good Jess of the Shire discusses Tolkien. She's really good too, in terms of women doing Tolkien stuff. There are a few on there. Jess of the Shire is her name. She's good.
Very nice. They should have made a series called Star Trek Cytheria, where the Federation had super high tech.
It's called Discovery.
Well, and when you say that, if that was a whole series, that would be the Cytherians exploring the universe and pulling people to them. And what happens when some of the Star Trek species we know meet them? How do they react? That sounds fun.
Okay, here's a question for you, Jill. Let's say modern Bad Robot Trek. Let's remove that from the equation.
Please.
Say they were going to do a series like what you just spoke about. Do you think a series not done from humans' perspective would work well or not? Like a series just from the aliens' perspective, like a real alien perspective, not the Klingons who are basically angry humans,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see what you're saying, and this is more alien-y. It would be a true alien series, and
I want a Horda-based series.
I think it would be best as a mini series. I think it would run.
Definitely, yeah.
So just give it 10 episodes and have a culmination of it, and why we don't talk to them anymore after this, and.
Plus the budget. Well, the budget wouldn't allow for much more than a mini series, maybe, because if you really want to push the alienness of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And I don't know, like it would have to be after the Dominion War, but I would like to see how they would interact with that race in particular. That would be interesting because they also think that they're kind of superior, and they like to send their progeny out into the universe. And what if one of those progenies just ended up with the Cytherians
as a cop on a space station? You were saying the Dominion, or the Founders, right?
Yeah. Yes. The Founders.
Yeah.
The changelings. I'm sorry, I got distracted.
Child.
You were talking to me. Yes, you do hear child. That's why I was away. If I do have to step away, I'll let you know. But I'll warn you.
You're going to love when they turn into their 20s and leave.
Well, for now, I'm enjoying her drawing me hearts and bringing me flowers. So I'm okay.
I found DJ Knight says I found an Oz cartoon has Liza Minnelli. Oh, I remember that. I remember that.
Yeah, DJ Knight shared that cartoon with me yesterday, and I still need to watch it.
I completely forgot about it. I'm surprised more people haven't tried to Because so much of Oz is in the public domain now, I believe, that, that's a series that could Amazon or any of these, and Max could throw some money at, and I think be a lot of potential to draw fandom. Because people only know of the Wizard of Oz, the musical, and then the Wicked, which basically comes out of that. There's so much more lore in Frank L. Baum's universe there, that so much material to explore.
Yeah, as evidenced by the sequel to The Wizard of Oz, which was apparently a really crazy, scary movie.
You've never seen it? Oh yeah. It's beautiful. Art direction's phenomenal. But yeah, the beauty of it not having really any characters that appeared in the Wizard of Oz novel. It's all these other, and that's why for a lot of people it's so jarringly different. But I forget the number of books he wrote. I mean, it was an ongoing series for many, many years. And then I think some people even continued them, or family members continued them after his death, if I recall. But
really, wow, they really kept it going. That's interesting. Okay.
But then could you say that stuff's just fan fiction then? I mean,
yeah,
if the original author's not doing it, that's like why I have that's why I have a hatred for anything Dune that isn't the original 6 books. I mean, it's the same thing for me there.
But I guess not if they franchised it and he taught them everything that what the Oz universe should be, and they're carrying it forward in a way that is recognizable to what he created, and maybe it's okay. But yeah, it's
I doubt that. I mean, that was turn of the 19th to 20th century there. So,
but if that's not the case, then yeah, it's fan fiction. This is an interesting chat from Gavin Blackburn. He says Dwight Schultz is guilty of wrongthink, so he'll never be invited back to Star Trek. Well, and that's the current filth Trek. So maybe once the ship is righted and we actually care about making good Star Trek again, then we won't be worried about what people's personal politics are in regard to who we have on our TV show. I would be hopeful, and I'd like to see Barclay again. Data though. The Padawannabe is here. Hey, welcome, the Padawannabe. Captain, we are unable to do basic commands. The ship is unresponsive. Why is this happening? Sir? Lieutenant Barclay has turned off the Wi-Fi. That's really cute. Thank you, the Padawannabe. That's using real dialogue from the episode and then adding a joke at the end of it. Very clever. Okay, Greek Letters Larson says, okay, show's over, folks. Tune in next week for the real Star Trek.
Someday I'm going to binge the Orville. I've only seen the first episode. I just haven't seen it.
You haven't seen the Orville. It's basically how my channel started. The Orville is basically I credit Cardinal Sin, Clobber Times, Doomcock, and Pop Culture Curator as the people who helped bring my channel to life. But if there's any franchise, any pop culture that influenced my channel existing, it is the Orville.
It's on the list of many bucket list things.
Mm-hmm. And
there's just so much out there that I have learned personally, I don't know if you experience this, like if you don't start with something when it begins and you let it go and it goes to a second season and a third season or fourth season, that's a big barrier to entry to catching up with that show. So that's kind of what happened on that one. It jumped networks, it did all that, and I just never watched it after the first episode.
When that happened to me with For All Mankind, I just had a live stream about it, and I reviewed all the episodes 2 at a time every week until I got through them all. I caught up with For All Mankind.
It's great. I've caught a couple of the
streams on that. It's like I'm so looking forward to the next season.
Yeah, and so there will be a season 5 this year.
Yeah, I don't know how much. I don't think there'll be more than season 5, right? I think that's the plan for the last one.
No, I thought they were thinking of doing 7.
Really? I'm trying to remember the last thing I saw Ron Moore talk about it.
It's Ron Moore, and he is a original Berman-era Star Trek writer. So
Yeah, but
7 seasons. That's in his
brain.
But
Apple TV's footing the bill, though. So, and the sad thing is that series needs it needs to be licensed out to other platforms. That series needs to be seen by more people because Apple TV is the smallest streamer out there, pretty much. So it needs to be seen by a bigger audience. It is so phenomenal.
I agree with you, and because it's stuck on Apple only, that is why a lot of people haven't seen it, and I've advertised this show so much. Some of my viewers are like, "Oh no, I don't want to be spoiled. I actually want to watch this," but then they don't have time to watch it or figure out how to watch it. So yes, it should be spread out everywhere. Everyone should be able to watch it, and that would be really great. That is why the view numbers on those live streams are a little bit lower, because it is within people's wheelhouse, but they haven't been able to see it. And but going back to why the Orville, I said the Orville was part of the genesis of my channel, and it was because season 3 was going to be coming out. I had loved seasons 1 and 2 so much, and that's how I started my channel. It was the lead up into season 3, and I reviewed all of the Orville with Pop Culture Curator and any guests that decided to join us, and it was timed so perfectly that when I ended my review of season 2, that next week we had our first episode of season 3, and it's really great that I was.
Is the Orville still in production, or did it end?
It is not canceled. The Orville is not canceled. There's hope for season 4. I was told by Scott Grimes that we're supposed to be getting production of season 4 in January. Well, Scott, it's January. Where's my Orville? I want to see some photograph footage, proof that we are starting some production on that. But I guess the problem is they didn't mention one issue, is that they've got to rebuild all the sets because some idiot decided to destroy them. So they've got to rebuild all of those beautiful things they made in season 3, or fine tune them.
You gotta be kidding me! Somebody in the studio?
Yeah, I guess so. And so the Orville is not over, but somebody, I guess, decided it was and destroyed it. And so that's a hurdle. So we'll see exactly when. Maybe production will start in March. I'm hopeful because Seth MacFarlane wants it. This is his baby. He wants to do it, and I want to see more of it. It is the Star Trek of today so far, until Star Trek makes its return. This is what we've got, and I love it. It is good stuff. And because Star Trek writers are on it, because they've got Andre Bormanis as a science consultant. They've got David A. Goodman, Brandon Braga. They've got everybody. They've got Doug Drexler, who does the special effects and the models and all that. If you want to know where Star Trek is today, actual real Star Trek, it's in the Orville. You just look for where the creators of 90s Trek, what are they doing today? They're making what should be Star Trek today, the Orville, for all mankind. And I'm sure
you could easily slip for all mankind in there as the as kind of a pre-Enterprise history of
I think it would almost fit. Yes, it changes history a bit, but it does have the feeling. I think it would make a great preliminary Star Trek series.
And that's what Ron Moore says himself. Actually, this is his unofficial prequel to Star Trek. Although a lot of fans say this is more of a optimistic prequel to The Expanse. So I could understand both arguments.
Oh, I can see that. I watched a few episodes of the first season of that. I hear that's also what went on really, really good. I haven't watched more than like the first 5 or 6 episodes.
And I don't want to skip this chat from Canadian Spider-Man. He says, "Hey, thanks, chat, for being here to support this channel. Please consider becoming a member, and then you'll have access to these custom emojis." Yes, and on top of those custom emojis, you also have access to my I have a private Discord where if you connect your Discord to YouTube, there's a private chat there. And then also we
When
have...
did you do that? I'm a member. I don't think I knew that.
Oh, you didn't? Yeah, I've done that since the beginning. But you've got to connect you got to link your Discord
to it, yeah.
It's not difficult. I should make a video about it and to show people how to do it because it's so simple and it's something that I offer that everyone should have. But also I have membership streams usually the first week of every month, but of course this month was the holiday, so we're going to have it on the 8th. So Wednesday I have my my membership stream this month, January 2025, on the 8th on Wednesday, and so that'll be fun. It'll be good. It's just like a shore leave, but I put the link in the chat, so it's a lot more accessible for everybody to jump on. And well, yeah. So and also I've started to do some shorter content on in my exclusive member videos. There's I found recordings of Scotty and I talking about stuff that has not ever been uploaded, so I'm uploading that for members to see. And also I started reading audiobooks, starting with Flatland. I've got to record the second one. I stopped doing it because I lost my voice and got really ill in December, but things seem to be back in working order, so I can go back to that. Anyway, that's the advertisement for that.
Did you have a good holiday?
Oh yeah. After being deathly ill, I did have a much better holiday. Fortunately I wasn't so sick for Christmas, so I was able to enjoy family and stuff. So terrible birthday, wonderful holiday. What about you?
I had to work most of it, so took some time off before, and then I was off a couple days this week. But we will be celebrating with my granddaughter because she turned 2 on Christmas Eve. So we got to do birthday and Christmas with her soon. So.
Oh, no, that poor little girl has a Christmas birthday. Hopefully.
Yeah, but her mother did a wonderful job separating and making her realize she had a whole birthday thing that wasn't with the Christmas stuff, and so it was really nice.
That's good. That's good.
That's a good mom. She's going to get another one, with us. So.
Oh yes.
I came back from my hometown. What is today? 2 days ago, I came back from my hometown, and my mother had bought her half of my SUV was filled with presents for my granddaughter. So it was crazy.
Okay. Good news. I'm glad that she's being treated right for having such a...
God, overkill. Yeah, I mean, it was like my mother just kept bringing out more. Oh, and then, I forgot about this. And there were 2 items we could not find in her piles, too. So there's still 2 more presents we have to find.
Oh, that's so fun.
My mother misplaced them in her house somewhere, so.
She'll get random Christmas presents going into spring.
Yeah, pretty much so. Or she'll get them on her 3rd birthday. And she'll be like, I don't like. I'm too old for Bluey now.
No, 3 is not too old for Bluey. My 6.
Oh, She is huge into Bluey.
My 5-year-old still loves Bluey. She's
It's an entertaining show.
She's outgrown like Peppa Pig, but she still likes Bluey.
I've watched a few episodes of Bluey and some of the shorts. It's really good.
Gavin,
There's what we should do a we should do a Bluey stream there. Yeah. We'll do that on my channel. Yeah, I'll do a Bluey retrospective. That'll be it.
Okay.
Nobody's reviewing children. Nobody's reviewing real children's shows on YouTube.
That would be something different. Well, it would match your Barbie video.
Oh yeah, my channel's. It will be. Hopefully, things will happen in 2025. But real life always intrudes for me. I mean, my job is I'm a workaholic, and my job is my focus. So, hopefully.
Yeah,
I haven't announced my what I want to do in 2025 on my page, but it's like if I can get one video of some kind out every month, I'll be happy. And if I can finish my shorts, all my top 60 movie shorts, I got like 30 of them done, and then I didn't finish them. I've had people going, "What's number 15? Where are you? Let me know the rest of them." And I'm like, oh God, yeah, I got to get to that.
So I'll tell you, that was my goal last year also, was to have a video a month. I did not achieve that. I had, let's see how many, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got 6 instead of 12. So
now you're not counting your live streams though, right?
No, I'm not counting my live streams.
Okay.
These are actual edited cut videos.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
It is a lot more work to do the shorter content, and that's why it's more rewarding, especially if you can remain consistent.
I've got about 4 scripts partially written. I've got assets collected, for a bunch of the stuff I want to do. I just executing when I'm come home tired after working all day is just so hard to want to okay, I'm going to go sit in front of a computer screen again for more hours. No.
Right. That you had to do it for work, and now you got to do it for play, and so.
But Scotty and Kat will continue to harass me if I don't start producing something, because my channel is supposed to have been live and fully. I should have been fully doing YouTube now for a couple of years now, and it just keeps never happening. So.
Oh, I hope you find a way to incorporate that hobby into your life in a way that lets you keep your job.
I didn't want to become a YouTube. I mean, God, nobody at my age is making a major income off YouTube. You got to be a young guy to. The young kids are making their life choices.
I'm not making much on it. I make some, but it pays. It pays for the stream you're in.
Yeah, I talked to a few YouTubers who are full-time YouTubers, and I mean their lives are just you just constantly have to stream. I mean it's a different, or you really need to put a lot of effort into your work to see any kind of ability to make your ends meet while you're doing your content you love. So it's really hard to maintain a full-time job, and for me it is, at least. I know, but I'm an old guy now, so. You're so young, clearly.
I'm a little younger, but I'm not a spring chicken anymore. Maybe summer.
Pleasant Valley Picker says 2025, lose weight, get sober, marry a sugar mama, win multi-millions in lotto, become a genius due to an alien machine, and of course maintain friendship with Jill.
That's a good list. Thank you for reading that, Nala.
I'll say I dropped 60 pounds in the last half of 2024, and my goal is to lose another batch of weight and get back to the gym.
That's one of my goals too. I need to lose some weight.
I stupidly went. The Mega Millions was back at $1 billion the other day. Of course, Matt goes, "Hey, you want to make sure you get tickets for it?" And I went and got him. Wasn't paying attention. The guy gave me Powerball tickets, so I was like, "Oh, I guess we're not winning that billion."
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You're not a millionaire right now. No. But
I'll just
I'm
take
going to read
a
some of these
couple
chats.
million.
I want to read some of these chats. Gavin Blackburn says, Scotty's going to seduce the plumber. I've seen the movie. I've been dying to read that chat. The Old Man Bird says, it would be funny if Kimberly Ann Hart, YouTube chatter here, was actual Pink Ranger actress. Oh, but that's the sad part. Didn't we lose her? Or wait, no, we didn't lose her. She's alive, right? Yeah, she's yeah, she is alive. Yeah, it would be amazing if she really were. If she really were Amy, what's her name? Amy Jo Johnson. Okay, so yes, she's alive. She's 54 years old. That's good news.
That's my age.
Yeah. Nice. Canadian Spider-Man says, if you join at the top level at Scotty R37, we'll personally deliver to you a She-Hulk doll of your choice, which is something that is that's a joke. That's not true. But that's funny. Franco Walker says, please subscribe, hit the bell. Okay, yeah, enough with these Power Rangers. They are of no importance. Well, some people enjoy Power Rangers, so I enjoyed listening to people who want to express whatever fandom they're happy about.
Yeah, let's talk about the late 70s NBC series Quark. How about that, with Richard Benjamin as the space garbage man?
Oh, that's something I want to see. It didn't go on for very long, did it?
No. I remember watching it like when it was airing, and I was like, I don't know if it ever was released on any kind of form of physical media or not.
Oh, no, I don't know. I don't know anything about that series, so you'd have to teach me. I don't know.
It was just a 22-minute comedy, I think it lasted a season.
Oh.
But it takes place in space, so it can fit the Star Trek milieu you got here.
If they're in space, it's sci-fi. Well, science fiction or science fantasy, whatever.
DJ Knight says, Jill is not a spring chicken. She's a popular girl on YouTube.
Oh, thank you, DJ Knight. Canadian Spider-Man is, I guess, like you. I can embarrass myself in 5 languages badly.
Yeah, I knew some Latin too, so it's even worse when I see people butchering, like mixing Greek and Latin suffixes and prefixes and roots and all together and making hybrid words. Drives me bonkers.
Oh, so how do you feel about J.K. Rowling?
I have no opinion
about how she uses Latin for her magic.
Oh, that's just gibberish.
Yeah.
It's gibberish, it's just, yeah. I mean, think about it. There's so many things Latin becomes this. It's just meant to be a secondary language used in certain literature that sounds it because it's vowel and consonant sounds. Most English speakers know, because so it's easy to use as a gibberish language and mix and match with it. That's why you don't see Greek done like that, because most people aren't familiar with the Greek sounds as much, especially the Greek letters.
Except for Greek letters Larson, he did it.
Greek letters Larson, yeah.
So I think you're talking about Where No Man Has Gone Before. I guess I missed the part where they wanted to irradiate the planet, and that is Oops, where did my page go? I lost the StreamYard tab. Sorry.
DJ Play Nice says, we call streamers who knowingly stream over a known channel's chat schedule Quarkers after that program.
From the UK, I stab at thee. We are the new hell for 2025. And let's see what's going on here. Latin should be taught more for etymological derivatives, so what you're talking about. And okay, yeah.
Yeah, it
And
was
doctors have to learn
inevitable.
it.
What did you say?
Doctors have to learn it.
Usually it's like a bastardized specialty course. At least here where I went to school, it was not part of the Latin, It's basically medical Latin in a one semester course.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably, I'm willing to bet now those types of courses may not even be taught anymore because it's just easier to use a device and some kind of online database to learn from.
Well, okay. I don't know any Latin at all. I mean, I guess I know like of whatever everybody else already knows that's been integrated into the English language.
DJ Knight says, "You think it's gibberish now? Just wait till it's English, the ultimate bastard language."
Mm-hmm. Like the one I learned from Carl Sagan was disaster, which was a bad star. So.
This is a shortened form of despotter, which is a variation of the father. Huh. I'll have to think about that one.
Yes, I finally got there. I'm glad I got there before I read your chat where no man has gone before. Yes, I finally figured it out. When you sent the second chat, I knew what it was. Scotty gets free psychotherapy from Jill. Actually, I can't. No comment.
I think you keep Scotty sane.
I hope so. Can I be your friend, Jill? Well, of course. We're all friends here. And yeah, like Canadian Spider-Man says, Jill is everybody's friend. I hope so. Oh, and Rio was here. Afternoon. Sorry I arrived late. And I'm sorry I'm getting to your chats late. I'm so behind on the chat. I need to catch up real quick. You're way too interesting, Noah.
Oh, I'm not. I'm boring as hell.
That's not true. The Hobbit was my favorite. A personal channel goal is to get for Canadian Spider-Man is to get another climate change disclaimer on another video in 2025. We got one for the bonfire stream 2 days ago with you and Tiger Stripes and Carla Burton. How did that happen? We got a
climate change disclaimer?
But I don't even remember talking about climate change. Did that happen after I went to bed? I believe the forests in Canada do need a renewal from a smoke control. What? Oh, I don't know about that.
Nature will take care of them.
Yeah.
They've been doing it for literally millions of years. It'll be fine.
Jill, I was referring to your comment that Barclay retained information for the Pathfinder project. Oh, that's what you liked. Yes, and that one just came to me.
That was the Voyager episode, right?
Yes, that's the Voyager episode where they figure out how to communicate with the Alpha Quadrant. Discovery does not exist. It exists in a Kurtzman Trek universe that we can throw in a hole and forget about. JJ killed Trek. It's been dead ever since, says Franco Walker, and it's because Les Moonves canceled Enterprise, so that's really the origin, and that paved the way for JJ to kill Trek to make Kurtzman a protege who then went on to destroy Trek even further. And here we are.
I still think it would have been put on rest for a while and gone in a different direction. 20 plus years for a production company is a pretty long run. Yeah, and some people say even if we get away from New Trek and get on to good Star Trek, Star Trek needs a time to breathe for a bit. I think a lot of franchises need to be shelved for 10 years. Doctor Who needs to be shelved. Star Trek needs to be shelved. Star Wars, maybe. I'm loving Skeleton Crew so much that I want more Skeleton Crew, so. I'll keep going with my Star Wars for a while. But yeah, I think you can only appreciate things after they've been gone for a while.
It's true. That's true. And then that'll help it. That'll help it wipe the slate a bit and start over with fresh ideas, new minds, fresh ideas.
I still don't know if they need to be fully rebooted though with younger. No. I mean, Star Trek should have
that's not what I mean.
Kept
exactly. Yeah, I agree. Continue.
I mean, I still want to see a miniseries of a modernized Space 1999 done, not an ongoing, just maybe like a 12 episode, modernization of that. That was one of my favorite. That first season of Space 1999. Have you watched Space 1999 at all?
I haven't yet. I'm still trying to. I need to finish reviewing the rest of UFO, and then maybe I'll look at Space 1999, which comes from that show.
Yeah, the first season's very esoteric, like some of the best Star Trek kind of, enlightened esotericism. Second season's all they retooled the show to become Kirk and Spock, Kirk action show. So it's a little different after you come back from season 2.
I hear that it gets worse. It starts good and then
it gets different. It appeals more to kids, because it's not lofty philosophical conversations. It's more action, fighting, lasers, that type of thing.
I want to make sure to say hello to Jill Powers, the River Daughter, who first appeared on my panel this past Tuesday last year on New Year's Eve, and it was really great to meet you, Jill Powers.
Season 31 of Power Rangers.
Oh,
Oi, that's a
wow. That is quite the quite the series. Season 31. Wow. Donnie said much earlier, I am ready for season 4 of the Orville, even though I love the first 2 seasons a little more than the third one. That's exactly how I feel about it. Exactly how I feel. Seasons 1 and 2, A+, and season 3, C+. But I still love it. I'm not being mean. It's just how objectively. But I want to see more. I've seen the Orville. No, Franco hasn't seen it either. He refuses to give Disney. Well, yeah, but when I first saw seasons 1 and 2, it wasn't Disney. It was Fox. Until Disney bought Fox and became Disney.
Yeah, I saw somebody in the chat says it's streaming on Disney Plus, so I may have to look for it there.
It's Disney Plus, and is it still on Hulu? I think it's still on Hulu.
That's probably yeah. It's the Hulu component of Disney Plus now.
Yes, and James Cassard is correct. Seth also made an announcement that
at the orgy.
What? That there will be more Orville. He did make an announcement that there will be more Orville, but there was no orgy involved. And I could hear Scotty's voice in the back of my head saying, how do you know? Pleasant Valley Picker CA never got a link, but I wasn't worried as Joe has other stuff to do. Oh, I'm sorry, you didn't ask. I didn't see any interest. Oh, I didn't mean. I'm sorry, I misplaced your link, EVP. But I'm glad you're here in the chat. Wasn't worried about this episode anyway. Yeah. Well, okay, but PvP, just make sure to check my channel and see what's coming up. And if you see an episode you like and you want to hang out, just message me on Twitter and we'll hang out for that. Let's see. Lombardi 1969 says, I am okay, Sentai Ranger Johnny. And Scotty just straight up is gone. So that helps me know where we are with this live stream. DJ Plain Eye says, my birthday is the 29th. Stuck between baby Jesus and baby New Year. Sucks.
Yeah, I know a lot of people born that week after Christmas.
between Christmas and New Year's. It seems to be a very. When is that put back? What's 9 months from then? But what? March, roughly.
Oh yeah,
I'm trying to think where all the sex was happening to have those.
when the date of conception.
Yeah.
Oh, and if Jill ever views kid shows, says Dionysus Larson, I demand a thorough review in G.I. Joe and how misinterpreted and smeared the Cobra organization is.
I'm assuming he's referring to Real American Hero, that early one, but you want a really weird trip, start reading the G.I. Joe comics from the 80s. Cobra buys basically is based out of a small like Midwest town named Springfield, and it's very, very different.
Yeah. I have we're going to be going just up to the hour. We're going to finish out the hour up to my time, 3 p.m. Central Time. And so Pleasant Valley Picker seems like he wants to hang out, so I'm going to send him a link. If anybody else wants to hang out, let me know for this final hour. Just let me know and I'll bring you on.
She's like, please, somebody else come on. He's so boring.
No, you're not boring at all. No, that's not what I'm doing. I just want to include people if they want to play.
I'm actually working too. You didn't know that.
No, I didn't. You made it sound like you were actually paying attention.
I was, but I'm also working.
Wow, you're a great multitasker.
I worked from home today. That's why I jumped on when I saw you guys.
Oh, my daughter needs to talk to me. Give me a second. This is why I want to bring other people on, because my daughter might need me.
Okay, what else is going on in the chat?
Okay, I'm back. Actually, PvP has to go. His computer is acting up. Well, if it comes back, you're welcome on. And yeah, I'm not.
Okay.
That's great.
Okay.
You read that one earlier.
Now, James Caserta has got a few things about Enterprise.
Oh, great! I'll get to that eventually. I'm going in order here. We call DJ Play Night says we call streamers who knowingly stream over. Oh yeah, you read this one.
Yeah, I was just quirkers.
Yeah, I never knew about that term. It's just you've got to stream when you can stream, and I know a lot of people are streaming at the same time. And if you worry about stepping on other people's like I don't like streaming over friends, but I gotta stream when I can.
Yeah, I don't think you can't really. You got to do just like you said. You got to stream when you can. That's convenient to you.
Otherwise, I would never have had a consistent schedule. I wouldn't be streaming at all.
Exactly.
I'm worried about everybody else. And I'd like to welcome to the panel Tony from the Stack of Iron panel. Welcome.
Hello, Tony.
The computer is currently occupied. I'm finishing my cat video and going to be doing a premiere of that today. But I figured I'd come on, let everybody know I'm all right.
Oh, that's good. Yes, you did have a bit of a rough night, didn't you?
A little bit. It's fine. No, I'm doubling down.
I'm making. You're okay.
Yeah. Sean encouraged me post show, and I don't know what it is. I have insecurities, like hardcore insecurities, and I really need to overcome them. Like that's gonna keep me behind. That's going to not be good. It's not a good look.
Yeah, but, and that's something that I bet you can overcome. It's your monster that you gotta fight.
It's my monster, my pet monster.
Franco Walker says, "Take care, everyone, and much love to you all." Oh no, I missed Franco Walker leaving. I'm gonna go before it goes completely. Wait, where did? Oh, a stream Stream is crashing. Oh, okay. Well, I'll see you next time, Franco Walker. Thank you so much for coming on to talk to me about Star Trek and helping me with the chat. You're the best.
Yeah, the party went good for about 7 hours. It was good all the way up to that point. So I'm probably just gonna shave that last part off and just call it.
Oh yeah. Then that's reasonable.
Yeah.
DJ Knight says, I remember when Salem used the computer for cat dating. Are you talking about
Maybe that Sabrina show or whatever that was?
Sabrina the Teenage Witch, yeah, from the 90s. That's funny.
Back in the 90s.
Back in the 1990s. Jill used
You all right,
Proto
Rob?
Manor when building the stream. Oh no! You're not supposed to use Proto Manor. That's really unstable. Are we yelling
Damn
at
you,
people?
David.
They blame David, but what was his mom doing the whole time?
Yeah, isn't that funny how he gets the on-screen brunt of that, but mom, who didn't appear in the third film, who was the leader of the project.
Yeah, Carol Marcus. She's missing due to contracts not going through properly, and so they have to write her out. I guess they did. I guess they succeeded.
Yeah, but they brought her back in that second other awful Star Trek movie. What was it called? Into the Dark?
Oh, Into Darkness? I don't even... God, I try to push that movie out of my memory, but one of these days, Scotty R37 is going to have me review it, and that's going to be a most emotional...
The big obligatory bikini scene in the shuttlecraft with Carol Marcus? Yeah.
Is that a bikini or underwear?
Let's just say a thong.
Okay, and also I want to welcome Canadian Spider-Man.
Hello, Canadian Spider-Man.
Grogu says goodbye, everyone. I gotta say hello to Spidey. Yes.
I'm here for the AA meeting.
Okay, coffee and donuts are on the table, but you might want to turn up your microphone just a bit.
There's always coffee at the AA meetings. You transfer your addiction from alcohol to the coffee. That's how I think that works.
Ooh. Yes, I've got it on max now, Jill. Hopefully that helps.
We can hear you, buddy. How you been?
Yeah, we hear you much better. What's going on?
Happy New Year. I have optimistic for 2025, Jill, after listening to your stream here, getting work done, and I don't know how Naladak. Hi, I don't know if I know you, but
I pop on every now and then.
Man, you are entertaining as hell. Jill always has the best guests.
Thank you, Spidey. Yes, he is very entertaining and easy to talk to. James Caserta says
you do have a nice voice, my friend. Very nice voice. Very radio-friendly voice.
My voice? Really?
Yeah, your voice. Yeah.
Both
of
you.
Yeah,
Take it from somebody who does radio, man.
No. My other half did radio. I just got to get all my audio equipment. I bought all this audio equipment because we were going to do a very silly series on my channel, and I never got it set up. But all the audio, I always hated it. So maybe I got to revisit that and try to get my audio better then. Because if this cheap mic you're saying my voice is okay, then maybe
sounds great.
Maybe the expensive mic will be better.
Your voice. From what I'm hearing it over phone speakers. So
yeah, your mic is better than Tony's right now.
Yeah, my mic kind of sucks. My computer's currently busy compiling this video, and then it's going to take another hour to upload it. I'm gonna do a premiere of it. Speaking of audio, for some odd reason, my gain as I talked through the game was incredibly low on this, so you guys aren't even going to be able to hear me. But I'm going to be in the chat, and it's just going to play like a live stream would, because you can set your videos to instant premiere, especially if they're like long form ones.
Mm-hmm.
And that way you can have a chat. Talk to, yeah. This is what I've been doing with Cat versus the Wasteland. So this is Cat versus the Wasteland Part 4. And,
but we can't hear you talking while you're gaming? Oh, that's...
No. For some odd reason, when I did the recording, it just the gain on my mic was off, and I don't know why. I'll have to, but it's 3 hours worth of gameplay that I can't just replace.
Ooh.
But at least you can communicate with the chat. That's
yeah, I'll be hanging out in the chat, and
you just didn't see any audio on the meters, or you just were oblivious to it.
My meter was fine. I think what it was is after, because I had an issue before I started my show last night, and I realized that my cord to my mic was partially hanging out, and I'm like, oh great. So I went and looked at the video that I recorded earlier that day, and I'm like, oh great.
Oh, wow.
Well,
That's
it is what it is. But we did Stealing Independence on this episode. We got the Declaration of Independence, and now Captain America is working alongside Sydney. They're becoming
yeah, definitely. And if
partners.
anybody in the chat loves to watch video game reviews and not video game reviews, but video game
Let's Play.
playthroughs.
It's a Let's Play.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
Let's Play. And I'm sure that there will be great commentary to read in the chat. And I wanted to say hello to Low Spec Linux Gaming. Most of the chat is here for Jill's voice. And that's why I'm so glad that it's back for the most part. And it was a little off. Well, even when it was off, people were
Winter
okay with
crud will hit regardless of where you're at.
It's never happened to me before. I've never
Really?
lost my voice like
Winter
that.
crud? Jill has never had to deal with winter crud? I call bullshit.
True. Well, I mean, no, I've been sick before. Where
it was bullshit.
No, that's not what
I know winter where you're at is different than winter where I'm at, but you gotta get with those little petri dishes you have, you gotta catch the crud.
Yes, I've been sick before. What I mean, what's never happened to me before is that I'd never lost my voice before.
Oh,
and
okay.
That's what was new to me.
You lost it entirely, or did it go drop a couple octaves to that?
I lost it
that
entirely.
sexy Jill voice. Is that one?
That was more recent. But in somewhere around Thanksgiving, I did lose my voice completely to where it would not be. My microphone would not even register it. It just sounded like squeaks. It was awful. And,
But I think this gameplay video is a lot of fun, and I'm gonna have some more short form videos coming out outside of the daily devotions. Needless to say, January 3rd was hitting me in the heartstrings. That's like the best is yet to come, especially after last night, and so that was.
Well, yeah.
I'm sorry that I have these down notes, man. These down.
Well, it's just important that you pick up and you carry on and you keep going, moving forward, and maybe make some changes if you want, and and see what you can do to be better. And James Caserta says the Klingons blackmailed David Marcus. And of course, talking about Star Trek.
But there will be some Unreal Tournament gameplay too. Without me, falling over on my mic playing it. Yeah, I got a lot of games that I'm going to be doing, and a lot of, obviously going to be doing a few more skits and bits. Probably going to have some more Radio Demon content. I was thinking about expanding to X. There's a lot of my friends that are into the has-been community and whatnot are actually on X, and I figured if I could just do a Radio Demon centered show, it would for X, it would be for them.
That's something to look at, Jill. I know you're familiar with the Manorama show that I do on Rancor Steve's fabulous channel.
Yes, I'm aware of this.
Yeah, he broadcasts. He started just recently, and we used to get, I don't know, maybe 20 viewers, 25 viewers between Rumble and YouTube together, 30 viewers up to 100 viewers depending on the topic. And he's started streaming on X, and I believe our last and we go on Tuesday nights, of course, and our last our last show, we had a combined of a total of 830 viewers on X and YouTube, and most of that came from X. And
Wow, that's outstanding.
The thing is while it gives you more exposure, this is the thing though with X that I've gathered is it's good for exposure, but you're not going to get subscribers on YouTube if people are going to rely on watching you on X. So you got to take that into consideration. Nobody's going to, open up a tab and subscribe to a channel if they are conveniently watching you on X. So the trick is to do an X only show and then say, hey, if you want more, check out my YouTube.
Yeah, that's an interesting way to look at it, and I guess that's what we're going to be seeing from Tony. So make sure you're following him also on Twitter if you're not already.
We smashed a lot of goals last night. Got a new Patreon member, 20 new channel members, and I think 3 subscribers or 2 subscribers.
Awesome.
But they fell off.
That's really
They
good.
fell off. They fell off this morning. Probably
well,
due
that's
to
okay. Yeah, the subscribers.
probably due to my addled mind state.
Yeah, but people support you and everything, so that's good. Klingons hate tribbles. Yes, this is a fact. They do.
And tribbles hate Klingons.
Yes, the feeling is mutual, as Worf says in the Trials and Tribulations, the crossover with Deep Space Nine and the original series. It got really sultry, says James Casterdo. Oh, I think he's talking about when my voice was messed up. Yeah, and so if anybody has anything they'd like to discuss, we'll be going for another 33 minutes, and we can conversation in any way they like. Can anyone? Oh, hey, and to that point,
yes, I put
Canadian
a question in the chat.
Spider-Man has a question. Can anyone name another pop culture species that are similar to the Klingons? Any? Yes.
Well, not in aesthetics, but there are a lot of like warrior culture aliens out there. Not to toot Unreal's horn again, but the Scar are like one of the most brutal warrior races that I've ever encountered in any form of like warrior aliens. Like they are combat centric, and they're slavers as well. Like they go from planet to planet, and if they see free labor, they take it. Like the Scar are ruthless. I'd like to see a Scar warrior fight like a Klingon, and no weapons, just fisticuffs. No
They
weapons.
celebrate war and battle and honor. Similar.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the conquerors. The Scar are conquerors. Klingons used to be conquerors until Federation had to show them, what they're doing wrong.
Oh, until they had the Khitomer Accords, and they decided to be friends, but they still have their Klingon Empire, and they still want to absorb planets. So that
they never joined the Federation. Really,
they never joined the Federation.
It was just an alliance.
Yeah,
I was just I won't destroy you.
What was the name of that horrible? I want to call him Klingon-esque, but I'm sure that's wrong. John Travolta played one in that. Was it Battleship
you're
Earth?
thinking of the Cyclos. You're thinking of the Cyclos.
Well, they had just overall kind of like ripped off makeup and a vibe that was very Klingon.
Yeah. You're talking about the Cyclos, which they're not a conquesting empire. They're an empire via economic assets.
Oh, okay.
They'll buy your planet. That's their attitude. Is like instead of just wiping out all the life and just building on that planet, what they'll do is they'll wipe out the life and then sell the planet. Like, so they build a massive empire. Just by selling planets. Yeah.
This question is a good question, and we're going to continue to talk about it. But before we continue, I want to thank the Nerd Portal Lifeform for a $5 super chat. Thank you so much.
Hey, nerd.
Happy New Year. Here's to 2025. We got to do part 2, Jill of Chillporial this year. And that sounds amazing. Yes, let's do something. Let's plan. Let's have a game plan, what we want to do. And I will be there. That sounds like lots of fun. And thank you for the super chat and for being here today. And usually when people send super chats, I like to play a video of some sort.
Happy New Year!
And okay, so let's play a few other videos also. But that's a quick and easy one. We also have.
Don't you think you better check with me first?
Captain. Jim!
Donk donk.
No! Never give up. Never surrender.
Oh, and since somebody mentioned Tribbles.
Oh, it's furry.
That's another warrior race that's very Klingon-like. Saris's people. General Rothar Saris.
Oh, that's not a bad one. There you go. Oh, are they more Klingon or are they more Romulan?
I think they're just conquerors. I'm gravitating towards the conquering element of some of these space empires.
DJ Knight goes straight into the Star Trek universe of saying what other Star Trek species are like Klingons, and he says Andorians and the Gorn, which are good, both good answers.
The Gorn, yeah. Another alien species that gets an honorable mention is from Halo, the Sangeli. They're not conquerors and ruthless, like, they don't expand, but they do have a massive honor system. Like, everything they do is honor-based, including combat, so, like, they're a bit more religious and zealous in their faith, but they're not like Klingons, and I guess they're like Klingons with honor only. I guess their technology's too sleek and nice, and you don't have duct tape wires everywhere in their ships.
And they don't drink barrels of alcohol.
No, they don't booze. They may have fine wines, but I don't think that they're a boozing species at all.
Mm-hmm.
But the Sangeli, the elites from Halo, those guys. If you're familiar with Halo, yeah.
And let's see. Where am I in chat? Oh, Canadian Spider-Man says, why is it that the female content creators always get the comments about their voice or their looks and get comments that guys never have to contend with? What would be the male equivalent?
Cool show, bro.
I was thinking maybe guys, like, we would be subject to opinions about whether we're broke or perhaps homeless, or how, like, if I often appear as if I'm homeless, and maybe we would get critiqued on that. But yeah, we never have to put up with. I find every show someone comments something about your voice or something along those lines. So I just or it looks as well for a lot of female creators, and that's something guy creators, just male creators, just don't ever really have to deal with. Maybe Tony's voice, perhaps, I don't know, but
what about my voice?
Well, because it's such a dominant part of your stream, it'd be the first thing people would.
That's true. That's true. Tony does get his voice complimented on a regular basis on his live stream, so that is an exception.
Well, which one?
Well, I can say for certain now that all of his current static and feedback is really kind of sexy in a way.
Yeah, right. Because he's on his phone.
Yeah, I'm not on the PC. This video is about done compiling, and then it's going to be another hour to upload it. I think it's 3 hours long.
Have you tried plugging in 240?
But I'm hoping that the live premiere will be available. I'm going to try and shoot for 5 o'clock because I have a little radio demon muse in me, and I might do another dad jokes short video while I'm at the format thing.
That's true. That's true. DJ Play Nice is always getting his voice complimented on too.
DJ is the baritone, man. He is the baritone. Beautiful voice.
Absolutely. So there you go, Canadian Spider-Man. You're wrong. I'm just kidding. And so, I guess we got everybody's plans for the new year. Yeah, we did that already.
2,600 subs. That's the goal by the end of the year.
Oh, I have a subscriber goal too. I want to get 1701. So mine's a little lower than yours. Of course. so if I get 1701, I'll be happy.
Well, I mean, last year I got to 1,300. It's a good goal just to double it.
Well, and if I can get really close to 1701, I might have a live stream where we rally to get the 1701. So I make sure that I get that screen cap because
you're gonna need the screen cap, right?
I need that screen cap of it turning to 1701, which I cannot do from my front page anymore because they do the dot 1.2.
Yeah, you have to do it from your studio.
Yeah, I had to do it directly from my studio to get the exact number.
Yeah.
First, ask what percentage of the content creators' audience are male and female. Egdan Bosk, who's a singer, has mostly female audience and gets loads of female comments. Simp comments.
Wow.
Well, I don't know.
It's going to vary by channel.
We're very free with that word.
Yeah, yeah. And I was agreeing with DJ's voice. Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
That is, I've been wrong before.
And that's all right. That's all right. It's always good to be to learn new things. And well, I had a lot of fun today reviewing Star Trek: The Nth Degree with Scotty R37 and Nala Doc.
It's Nala. You can call me Nala.
I know.
If you're gonna do it, if you're gonna do it, make it like really like a Semitic. Now, just kidding.
I think you just don't want me saying it because I'm saying it wrong.
No, it's just Dak. It's my brother's name backwards.
No, Dak. Okay. Dan Bosk is a Brazilian rock cover singer. He is not an egg. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry to get that wrong. And hello in the chat to Theta Zord.
Hey, Theta Zord.
But I think we're about gonna wrap this one up because I didn't expect this one to turn into a shore leave at the end, which it did. And I think I've pretty much said everything I wanted to say today and need to share. It does.
It's almost time for the herd to be fed.
Exactly. That's exactly why I got to go. Actually, I have to go grocery shopping, but I won't bore you guys with details.
Well, I got three dogs that are patiently waiting.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I got
so this is good timing.
Snow to shovel.
Yeah. It looks like, and thanks for having or coming on the panel the other night, Jill. You came on New Year's Eve, and along with Tiger Stripes and Carla Burton, and then we had Scotty, and a whole bunch of people show up.
New Year's Day. It was New Year's Day Eve.
New Year's Day night. Yeah, that's right. Sorry, New Year's Day.
New Year's night. Yeah, it was almost January 2nd. You know,
and we did indeed, as I predicted, we did indeed get a climate change disclaimer at the bottom of that stream. Now,
that's funny.
Very nice. Hey, congratulations!
I know that's number 2.
Already achieved one of your goals for the year. Congratulations!
I know, awesome. What does the disclaimer say? Does it say that these people aren't experts or something?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, for your
information.
That's funny.
Thanks for being a part of achieving that goal, Jill.
Hey, okay, so tomorrow. Hey, I'm glad you're here, Tony. Are we going to play Fallout tomorrow night? Because that was the plan. Is that still okay?
Yes, that's another reason why I'm pushing this cat video out here in the next couple hours, is to get the Fallout hype going again, the Fallout train. And so yeah, what time do you want to start at?
10 p.m. Central Time, my time tomorrow.
10 p.m. Central, so 11 my time. Yeah, I'll be there.
Yeah. Yes, awesome.
I'll be there. I'll be there with bells on.
I'm hoping to make some progress on. I want to make some good progress this time, and so that'll be good. I'm going to enjoy that, and it'll be good for you and Scotty to be there with me too on that adventure. And then on Tuesday, I'm going to continue my Twilight Zone stream, and we're going to continue with the next 2 episodes of that. And then on Friday, it's going to be Scotty R37's birthday, so we're going to review. What are we reviewing?
She-Hulk. We both said she.
Oh Lord.
The Last Starfighter. Was it The Last Starfighter? Is that what we're reviewing? I think so.
Ooh, good choice.
Mm-hmm. And DJ Play Nice says, I think too many people believe that their voices are inferior. Shades and flavors, man. I dig a lot of variety in most things. Unrealistic social standards victimize most of us in some way. And that's an important and very wise addition to the chat here. It's important to listen to what DJ has to say, because if you pay attention to him, your life will be better, because this is true.
He's wise.
Don't put yourself down.
Who are you who is so wise in the ways of science?
Yeah. Linux says, I got the water chip. Still need to deal with the mutants. Yeah. Oh, he's way ahead of us. I haven't got the water chip. I'm trying to get the sledgehammer.
Are you talking? What are you? Is this that Fortnite game?
No, we're playing Fallout, the original Fallout.
Fallout.
Yeah.
No, I'm playing Fallout 3 as Captain America on my playthrough. It's just gonna be a lot of fun. We're just gonna.
Noah, is there anything you want to share or promote?
Absolutely not.
That's why I started with it. Okay.
I'm not gonna promote my Walking Dead channel. Not my that phrase channel that is basically dead and walking still channel.
Walkers and canes.
It has nothing to do with Walking Dead, but the channel is like should have been live and
That reminds me of a bit that I did last time on AMC's The Almost Dead. We got walkers and canes and strollers. If you switch that medication with me again, you and I are going to have a real problem. You just
Thank you for letting me come on, Jill. I glad I was working from home today and got to hang with you. I always like when our schedules sync, which is very rare.
Yeah, that was super lucky on my end. I was surprised to see you. I'm very happy, and it was good you were here because I like to hear what you have to say. You did a very good job while we were reading the entire chat together. That was fun. And Tony from Strike of Iron, I know you already started talking about your cap playthrough that you're gonna be releasing. But what else? What else is going on?
What else is going on? I'm gonna be on Snowed Up tonight. Alf's gonna be there. We'll be hanging out with Loki and the gang. The after show, after Snowed Up show. I will be summoned to save the universe at some point at DC's, and then I'll have my after party tonight. And then at 5 o'clock, if everything is on schedule, I will have my premiere of episode 4 of Cat vs. the Wasteland. So
Very cool. And Canadian Spider-Man. What do you have coming up?
Yes, hi, Jill. Well, I've got my Thursday night travel talk with Spidey. And this next Thursday, I think we're going to be doing a picture tour of photos that I took of my home province here, British Columbia. I mean, I lived in New Brunswick for 25 years on the other side of Canada, but I've been here for 26 years, and we're going to do a photo tour of that every Thursday night. And then, of course, tonight, going to be Friday Night Frolics in as a wrench for Doomcock with yourself.
Yes, I'll be there too. And we'll hang out and have a good time. It's Friday. Gotta get down on Friday. That's Scotty's fault. No, I said that. Like Jinx sort of said.
I'm sorry that you have to suffer that, truly.
I really hate that song. I only ever heard it once in my life, and I can never get out of my head. It's like it burrows deep into your soul and never lets go, and it's unfortunate.
Oh, yeah, it's like, isn't that the Spice Girls, Can't Get You Out of My Head? That song gets stuck in there for days.
Well,
tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
That's the one. That too.
I want to dig off.
There you go.
No, nobody does. I'm totally fine on my own, James Caserta, as you've seen for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
I've had a show all on my own with friends who would like to hang out.
Yes.
And
that's
so
the funnest part of YouTube, isn't it? Hanging out with your friends here.
Mm-hmm. And today's Friday, so I hope everybody has a wonderful Friday and had great holidays. Had a good Christmas, had a good New Year, and are ready to take on 2025. And until I see you again, stay awesome.
And the ways our differences combine to create meaning and beauty.
It has always been easier to destroy than to create.
May we together become greater than the sum of both of us.
Well, now you have something new to think about. Carry on.
All right, move along. Done. Stop it. Get off of the things. Go outside. Get some food. It's like, it's a time of day where you live. Go do something. Shut up, Snoopy. I don't care. You smoke too much. Let's go. Let's go adventure. Let's go explore.
Don't be mean. We don't have to be mean. Because, remember, no matter where you go,